Why is the camera black and white? There we go. Oh, what my goodness. You guys are hungry? All right. Oh, everybody is in here. Holy cow. All right. What? Oh, that's blurry. Hold on. That's super blurry. So how are we feeling today, you guys? So over here, we're going to be talking about civil unrest because I'm going to be really honest with you guys with everything that's going on on TikTok. We're really close to it. We are very, 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 very close to civil unrest. Oh no, she was raptured. Oh, y'all are funny in here today. But make sure that you hit that like button, the thumbs up button, if you guys are new in here. Defeated slightly. I'm not even gonna lie. Like it is very much we are moving into civil unrest. You can only make so many hateful videos like what I have seen on the internet, like where people are lashing out. They're talking about I'm going to be really honest with you. I am very disturbed by some of the bug out bag videos I've seen. These bug out bag videos are there's people designing bug out videos on TikTok talking about causing civil unrest. That they're going to be wanting to wear their gas masks. I don't know if you can see them. Gas masks, how to conceal identifying markers on your body, and then going out and protesting. Oh yeah, I saw the New York protests, yeah. They're and the videos are going viral. So TikTok prepper talk on TikTok is completely I'm not even going to lie, it's a dumpster fire. It's not where I want to be very honest and real with you guys. It's not where I want to be. I do not want to encourage people making bug out bags to go out and attack and cause chaos. I don't want me teaching gray man. If they want to come and try to find some of my videos over here or other preppers videos over here, they might as well, but most of them are sitting on a scrolling app and they're just scrolling and scrolling. It is absolutely insane. Your bug out bags are not designed for you to go to a protest. I'm going to tell you that right now. Your bug out bags are not designed to go to a protest. They are not designed for that. They are designed for you to bug out of a situation that you and your family need to leave. It is disturbing. It is disgusting mentality that is going on. Your bug out bags are not designed for you to be noticed. It is for you to avoid crowds. If, say, the highway gets blocked off, I'm going to be really honest. Your bug out bag is designed, or your get home bag that's inside your vehicle is designed for if you need to leave. Say, if I was to drive down Salt Lake City, there's been some crazy protests. They blocked off the highway and it just is, things are getting escalating. It has not escalated yet, but if it was to escalate, it is designed for me to grab my backpack and leave. First of all, I don't try to go anywhere that is that high populated. I try to avoid that. Local prepper, welcome, welcome. How are you, my friend? I'm making my move over here. I know we both follow each other over on TikTok. TikTok is definitely compromised from a prepper standpoint. People are using prepping now to incite civil unrest, and for me, I'm choosing to come this direction. I'm not out here trying to teach people how to design their bug out bags or their food storage or freeze drying and canning for people to want to go and cause absolute chaos. They're not well over there. I didn't dare say it. Hello, Travis. Welcome in. Yep. Basically, so what KL Fisher just said, basically they're going to carry bug out bags to a protest and then shit hits the fan because of them and preppers will be blamed for it. That's literally what they're doing. There is literally people making videos that are designing bags to cause civil unrest. So not only is it a bug out bag, but they're using the same kind of gear similar to what we do, and they're choosing to show up at protests. They're showing up with on the new cute boots movement, wanting to flex their new cute boots, and that is what they're insinuating. That I have it video recorded. I recorded all of them, and I was like, and it wasn't just one. It was like 40 different people. And I could tell whose videos because I'm friends with so many preppers who do content. I was like, "Oh, they watched so and so's video. Oh, they just took what so and so just said and they're using it for evil." You're supposed to be designing when you design your bug out bags. Mine are in the intended means of survival. When I take my bags out to our off-grid property and I am hiking, or if I just go anywhere in the Rockies to go hiking, my intent of my bag is survival. My bag is not designed for me to show up in Salt Lake City at a protest to cause mayhem and discontent. I just tried to tap and it went wonky. Everybody should have a bug out bag, but we shouldn't be designing them to cause civil unrest. What if you don't have a place to bug out? Would you still I would make a bug out bag just in case, like if there was a fire or anything like that. Like if you just need to get in your vehicle and leave. Natural disasters, anything like that. I don't know why the camera keeps going in and out. What do I do to fix that? This is all new. This is all new to me. I don't know. I don't know it keeps going in and out. Why does it keep wanting to zoom? I'm a little nervous with it. I'm confused. Okay, so Vicky, I'll describe one of the videos. So having a bug out bag, I'll finish that subject first. To leave if there's a natural disaster, something gets bad, you just need to leave. Being offensive, don't get me wrong. I'll protect myself, yeah, but it's not to be used in an aggravated way. Exactly what Andrew just said. So the videos that I am seeing on TikTok, they are taking what preppers are saying and how we're designing bags, right? Like everybody's like, where's your bug out bag videos? And I'm like, there's 7 of them. There is one who literally went over it and it was talking about, she literally had copied almost everything I put in it. And then she was like, I'm going to use the zip up polo to cover over any markings. And then this face mask so that nobody can see. So now you've not only taken out the gray man in it, now you've designed your bag to be extremely tacked out. That, first of all, eyes are going to be focused on you if you are super tacked out in an area where there's not a lot of people that are tacked out. You got different ways that you can decide on what you want to look at, right? Like, do you want to be the gray man where nobody's really noticing you? My kids' bags are completely designed towards that. Like they're just a black backpack. There's nothing really tacked on them. Now, my husband and I, we accept the fact that ours are tack bags. That is going to cause eyes to come to our way. Now, are we trained enough? We're both veterans. My husband served 19 years. I've served 8 years. We both have done deployments outside the wire, not inside the wire, outside the wire. Do we know how to handle ourselves if something was to happen? Yes. But our bags are not designed looking for problems, if that makes sense. Our bags are designed that if we have to leave, we have to leave. But people on TikTok are making videos, and they are making videos and they are wanting to shield their face so that the news outlets won't see who they are. They're wanting to cause as much destruction. They're fire starters in there. They're talking about lighting flags and lighting things on fire, that if their voices can't be heard on social media, their voices will be heard physically. So that's where I'm thinking that we are now really crossing a line between prepping and civil unrest. And they're using what we're teaching to want. How do you combat that? The way you combat that is you stay the fuck away from it. And that is one of the reasons why with like TikTok, like if you guys know, if you're new here and you're just from YouTube on here, I have 250,000 followers on TikTok. I'm ultimately stepping back away from TikTok completely. I don't want our videos being used to cause a scenario that we prep for. We prep for civil unrest. We prep for, if we don't, none of us preppers trust the government. If the government oversteps, we all can admit in here that we think that the government sooner or later will overstep if they have not already overstepped multiple different times. But yeah, and let's say that they all go with their Bugout bags, right? Let's say that they do cause ultimate distress. Then all of a sudden they're like, well, I'm so and so prepper off of this app, and I taught these people how to do that. And then it shines a light on us preppers. We already get a light shined on us on being conspiracy theorists, paranoid, that we're crazy, that we're all of this. And then now all of a sudden we have violence added into it. That could kill our communities, because ultimately we all want to be oh yeah, the autofocus is crazy. We ultimately want to be self-sufficient in the best way we can. Oh yeah, Cypher, that's where that's here. You're not going to see much of me on TikTok. I don't want to see my videos being copied and used to cause distress. Most of us, afternoon Scottish prepper, how are you, my friend? My cat's trying to like jump up on. Yeah, and it makes us look like we're the ones trying to start something, when most of the time, most preppers, we prepare for when shit hits the fan. We prepare for when the apocalypse happens, or World War III, or any of those things. We're prepping for survival. We're prepping to keep, yeah, exactly what Gigi just said. You're prepping just to be left alone. That's what I'm prepping for. Like, I don't want anything to do with any of this. I would rather just stick to my family, growing, preserving our own food, being self-sufficient, those kind of things. I don't want to be a part of this. And well, yeah, it demonizes preppers, and it's easy for people to do that and on a regular basis as it is. Now you got rid of TikTok. Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, Susan, this is going to be where all my long form content is. That's why I don't post any of my prepping. Well, I'm used to being, yeah, prepping to be self-sustaining. Exactly what Kesha just said. That is our normal. Like, my family called it deliberate living. It was living with a purpose. It was being, self-reliant, knowing that if something was to happen, that you could take care of yourself. You could grow, you could preserve your own food, you can produce your own energy. That if the system was to crumble, which it's not like if it's going to crumble, it's when it's going to crumble. The system is going to crumble at some point. And whether it is man-made causes of crumbling, natural disasters, or war, or any of those things. There's so many things, whether it's an economic collapse. At this point, what I am seeing on TikTok, they should have banned it. I love TikTok and I did not want to see it get banned. What I've seen since the app has come back is absolute total destruction. It will be human demise that causes this. It will be civil unrest. At what point do you pick who or not who's on your side and who's not? Most of us talk about vetting people for our own group, that you have your people who you're going to rely on, different skills. We're not looking at starting civil war. Oh yeah, all of them don't remember how the supply chain was affected during C-19 at all. Like, I prep my home and my family to, like, situation that they can be. Like our homestead right now that we are working on, 70 acres. There's a lot of things that go into that. And right now we just got, 750-gallon water cistern there that needs to be, put together. I mean, it's put together, but I want to really inspect it and make sure that it's fully operational. And then we just got the septic installed out there. And then next is drilling the well, and then so on and so forth. And right now, like, I'm growing stuff for our garden here, but I'm also growing it for our, I'm hoping that we can put up a still greenhouse that can withhold the winds that are out there, because there is wind that cause issues. So I have to build up a wind guard for the orchard that's going to be out there. And it's about self-sustaining. I'm not on here trying to teach you to create a bug out bag so that you can go cause civil war or to attack people. And that is the reason. So for anybody that's going to wonder why my presence won't be as heavy on TikTok anymore, it is that. People are using that app for evil, and I would rather be here. Oh yeah, they're worried about everything and anything that they can. And I'm going to just turn the camera this way so you guys can kind of see, like, when we're talking about like food preservation, like this is a rotational pantry. I got things I have to add to preps, more bleed stop, stuff like that. When I start seeing people showing an energy being driven towards violence, that's when I get really concerned. And that's not what my content's used for. Gaming, TikTok, there's a lot of creators out there right now that are using prepping content to want to start civil unrest. And it's disgusting, horrible behavior that is ultimately going to get people killed. It really truly is going to get people are not going to make it. When they're using bug out bags designed to go to protest to cause, I mean, they're talking about meeting up in groups, wearing masks and showing their new cute boots, which is guns. New cute boots is that they're going to flex their guns. And that they're going to attack different agencies, that they're going to show up where police are, like, and then they're using bug out bags, they're using prepper content to want to pretty much, like, ultimately this is causing an Antifa like anti-government through TikTok. Like, that is literally what is happening. Like, every FBI agent should be having radars going off on TikTok. I scrolled more than 50 videos and was recording them of just insane amount of inciting violence. Insane amount. They're talking if they can show up in a location, that they're going to burn things to the ground. But like, that's what I do. Like, anybody that's new here, I don't know if you can see it, but you can see, like, I've been working on different storage and organizations and making sure that things stayed organized. I started prepping for hurricanes in Florida and now in the Midwest. And I just want to make sure my family's going to be okay. So what do you think? Do you think people are going to be the cause of civil unrest? Do you think maybe people angry on the internet are going to be the ones that finally uptick it where there's no going back. I'm just curious what you guys think. For what you have seen, because a lot of you have come over here from TikTok, what do you think is going to happen? Welcome in, Bigfoot girl. I feel like people no. I think it's totally possible. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, some of those videos came from friends that I'm friends with other content creators. I'm gonna tell you right now, I would not let them sit at my table. I will not. I want nothing to do with them after the hateful videos and them wanting to incite, saying that they're carrying their new cute boots in their backpack. Working on storage side. Yep, I just wanna take care of mine and be left alone, and I'll protect myself. Exactly. And for me, I'm not here to, like, teach people how to go and instill violence. I really thought oh, there's the cat. Cat's gonna go jump. I really thought that after the elections that things would they would be pretty I called it. I was like, "Oh, I think we're gonna see some civil unrest the first, like, couple weeks," right? And see some but it's held off, and then all of a sudden, it's now. Like, everything I'm seeing is every day has escalated a little bit more. I was documenting it, 2 weeks ago because I do lives 365 days a year. I do with that said, you're right to be alarmed. Yeah. Like, they're just inciting so much violence. Like, the fact that there's even, like could you imagine if the opposite made videos saying that they're gonna show up with pew-pews? Like, I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. And every day for 14 days, I've documented. First day, it was like 1 person banned. Next day, it was 7 people banned. Next day, 14 people banned. I think today we banned 8. And then going through and it's just video after video after video encouraging people to go after each other. What's been allowed to happen? I mean, there's been a lot of things allowed to happen in the last 16 years. Does not mean you get to lose your shit and, like, threaten people. Sorry, there's no feelings here that I'm gonna protect. I'm sorry, 16 years. Who all in here has been prepping for a very long time? Like, I grew up with preppers. There's no reason people should be threatening people on the internet. Sorry, your feelings are not that big to be threatening people. Um, yep, exactly what local prepper just said. Local prepper just said that. I have been prepping for a very long time. You guys got to remember how old my grandpa was. You are going to have candidates you like and candidates you don't like. What is happening right now is worse than the Cold War era right now. The amount of civil unrest. And by the way, there is a difference between a right and not a right. Just so we're all clear. The Constitution is absolutely free and you can download that. Um it is crazy. If you're upset with things, there's better ways to go about it. Taking prepper content to make bug out bags to show up at protests, that's out of control. I'm sorry. That is absolutely out of control. Absolutely out of control. Tina grew up prepping. Yeah, like my family, like this is normal. Like everyone gets all worked up when they see all the different shelves and stuff. Like this is normal. This is the way I grew up. So this has just always been a normal thing. But when you have people who are inciting, like I'm not teaching you to prep so that you guys can go battle other people because you don't like the way somebody voted. I'm not doing that. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Nope. I personally don't care if society collapses. I really don't give a shit. I know that seems harsh. I don't. I prep so that my family stays alive. It's just a pantry, nothing to see here. Exactly. Oh, yeah. Exactly, JB, and that's how my family was. Like, they were Great Depression prepping wasn't even a word that they used. It was deliberate living. We lived with a purpose that no matter what to be self-sustaining. My family believed that grocery stores were for the rich, for the elite. Now they're everybody's crutch that sits underneath their arm. Growing your own food is an inconvenience. It's a Instagram photo. Having a perfect manicured garden is more for the aesthetics of a photo pleasing versus um for the purpose of growing food to eat it. How many people have you seen on the internet that are like they grow a garden but they never eat the food? Yes, it is. It is for a Faraday cage. If I find some, I'm not a big couponer, but if I find coupons that will save money, that's just money I can throw into a different prep. And growing your own food, preserving it, like the last video I posted was storage. I'll do that in a whole video. It's a whole video of itself, GG. There's a lot that goes into making a Faraday. A lot of people skip steps and then waves can get in. But I'm not gonna lie, like I think that the waters are very, very hot right now. I'm gonna turn the camera. I think the waters are really, really hot because of the fact that you have okay, so the government should be audited. No matter who you are. Yep. Faraday, you are correct. um, you have the government should be audited. The entire government. I don't know a prepper out here that would be like, "No, I don't want the government to be audited." How many of us preppers believe that we are probably on a list somewhere? I'm on a list. I know for a fact I'm on a list. If I have to apply for everything when getting a silencer, I know for a fact I'm on a list. For sure on a list. The if we have people that are wanting to know, I mean, we had like let's talk about Cabela's. Cabela had pressure from the government to release who they sold safes to. Liberty Safe decided to give over their records. Other body armor companies were forced into giving over their records. Some did not. Um, who owns what guns? Where they own the guns? Um, People fighting over eggs the other day. Can you imagine if it's exactly suburban? People are fighting over all kinds of stuff. You got grocery prices going through their roof. They want to know everything about you. If you don't pay your taxes, they're going to want to investigate everything about your life. Where did you put your money? Where did you get that money? Who paid you? So we ultimately know for a fact that the government does need an audit. It doesn't matter what side who you but the government needs to be audited the same way that we are already audited. You have to apply for yeah. Scottish Prepper, he's from Scotland in here. They have to apply for a pew pew and doctor's reports and all of these other things that go into it. Home visit from the police. Like It's crazy to think about how much the government already has a control in your life that you should be questioning things. If food prices, who in here has noticed their grocery prices have gone up? So when you calculate in not only grocery prices have gone up, you calculate in civil unrest on the internet. I mean, that's been a given for years. People are way too up into their feelings. Everything is going up constantly. So what happens? What is the threshold? Where do you think that peak is where people finally dive over the edge? They finally dive over the edge and they go after each other. What do you think is going to be that point? Make sure to tell me in the chat what you think is going to be where that point is going to be. When you can no longer afford rice, when you no longer can afford milk. We've talked about the avian flu. Now people are posting videos thinking it's a president that created the avian flu. And it's like, well, Biden was in office and he had no control over the avian flu. We can't point blame on either political party. The avian flu is very contagious and it moves very, very quickly. Housing prices, those haven't gone down over the last 4 years. They have not gone down. They just keep going up. I have videos. I have like because I document prices as I prep just because I am very frugal. If you guys don't know, I'm charmingly frugal over on TikTok. Doomsday Queen here. We took a name that the New York Post gave me, and that is now the new channel name. They wanted to say that we were crazy because we're preppers, and you know what? It's fine. I'm cool with it. Um, but you take the avian flu, and you already know that the egg cost is gonna go up every time that happens. It does not matter political party on that. There's no control. I have video recordings from when our previous administration entered and gas prices for regular gas jumped up to 4.99. Things happen, but people keep forgetting that this has been going on since 2008. When I was deployed, I came back in 2009. I missed out everything going on in the US, and I came back and I was like, "What happened?" We all of us that worked full time at Fort Lewis, the funding was completely taken away. Um, I had a lady walking out of Sam's this weekend crying because she found Sam's selling eggs for $6 and she had been buying them for $9 the other day. Oh yeah, because you have to walk around. Yep, transitioning into an ingredient household, that's what we've been doing. Um, I was talking about, I have a 6-gallon container of wheat berries, and people were like, "Well, what are you gonna do with that?" And I'm like, "Well, that equals out when it's ground down to 150 cups of flour, and that can be used into so many loaves of bread or into noodles." Guys, making your own noodles is super easy. I am trying to like critique that skill to the point because my son loves noodles. He does. Ooh, when families have to pool their money together, yep. I got mine from Costco, but it's actually from a local mill that's right here that they just sold to the Costco here. You can go and check, a lot of your local mills. I grew up around a lot of wheat fields, so I'm used to it. Like, I know I can go to Pendleton and go and look at, the Pendleton woolen mills and ask. Oh, and they're delicious. They're absolutely delicious. But what is the tipping point that I mean, it's not just our country, it's other countries, guys. This is worldwide. The inflation keeps peaking, it keeps going and going. Oh, really? Um, Inflation keeps going up. people are struggling to eat. Then you have like the civil discontent, people hating each other for who they voted for. Um, I mean, honestly, that in itself is a whole subject on its own. Houses can't be afford like you can't afford houses. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Your kids aren't gonna be able to buy a house. The route that we're on over since 2009, honestly, your kids aren't going to be able to afford a house. Let's be really real. Like my kids will not be able to afford a house. That's why we are going to keep this house. We'll rent this house out, but this is going to go to our kids. Your kids won't be able to afford a house. Something will crash, something will happen, whether it's an economical crash. The route we are on, it is unsustainable. You got starter homes starting at almost a half $1 million. That's insane. That's insane. The job prices, the way you're being paid, honestly, everything it's crumbling. It's crumbling, and then you add in the discontent, people hating each other, that they want to see other people who don't think the same as them to go down. But just stashing goods because of an election isn't gonna really get you far if you don't have any skills. Do you know how to cook those? Like, say the power goes out, like, um, I'm not gonna lie, like, grocery prices doubled 4 years ago. They did. Bread went from 99 cents a loaf to a dollar 20 a loaf to $5. The cheapest bread you can get is, like, 2.99 right now. Like, I'm gonna be really real. I took a ban on TikTok because I said grocery prices, inflation is at an all-time high, and at the time, it was the highest it had ever been, and there was research done in it. I took a 2-week ban, and that was from the previous election. I don't think it matters anymore. People become so dependent on a grocery store. Grocery stores should not be what you are dependent on. Truthfully, people are very dependent on it. Overpopulation, I'm gonna be really real. We have so many people, and then we punish farmers, and that's who grows your food. People need to understand that it's unsustainable for the last 16 years. We are at an unsustainable mark. Whether you're waking up because you just don't like a president today, we've been at an unsustainable mark for 16 years. Yep, even the cheap Aldi bread, we don't have an Aldi's here, $1.39. It's unpredictable, the costs are going up. Honestly, there's no reason for the cost to be going up right now. If you guys did not know that, that's a lot of the box stores. There's no reason. There's no reason. Most of that shit ain't imported. There's no tariff on it. There's no tariff on it. I make my own bread, David. I don't even fuck with it anymore. I make my own bread. I during the pandemic, I made my own bread. Prior to the pandemic, I made my own bread. I just don't even mess with it. It's not even worth it. It's not worth my energy to go and see that there's like a 20-cent increase. And on top of that, then you're paying taxes on top of that into the system. And if anybody hasn't noticed, your bread doesn't mold anymore that comes from the store. It doesn't mold. Well, and that's the reason why people should be doing it. Yeah, you've been in that rabbit hole? Exactly. The it doesn't mold anymore. When I was a kid, we picked up bread from the store in 7 days, it would start developing a little bit of a blue spot, it was starting to mold. There's no sound. Sound back. There it is. Okay. Okay. That was weird. I didn't touch anything. Okay. So with eggs, we're a family of 5. I prep for 7. I prep for my aunt and my uncle. My uncle does all the reloading. I mean, we grew up with preppers, okay? I prep for 7 people. But when it comes to eggs, my family alone, if we eat eggs for breakfast, we eat 9 eggs. Easily. 9. The ghosts of TikTok. And then people are like, they need these fancy chicken coops. I looked in Utah at new chicken coops because I just wanted to see what like the general price is, right? $3,000. I'm sorry, what? I'll build my own chicken coop. When we saw Mike just died? Like when did we see chicken prices for chicken coops coming to that? Big Brother's playing Mike Gremlins. Can we not hear me again or are we good? Can everybody hear me? All good? Okay, cool. $3,000 in Salt Lake City for a walk-in chicken coop. I built my chicken coop for about $100. They have a huge run. It's 12 feet in length. It's 8 feet in width. Yeah, their coop's pretty small, but they all fit in it. It keeps them warm and it takes them out of the elements. I just got a text message really quick. Courtney says I'm still muted. Yeah, when factories were burning down in the last years, you were good. Yep, exactly. Oh, I'm good. Okay. Okay. When one of my mods is texting me and they're like, "We can't hear you." But I don't wanna see people feel like they can't be self-sufficient, that they can't have chickens because they don't have $3,000 for a fancy coop, or that the price of chickens, if they own 8 chickens, is gonna cost more than the egg prices. I'm gonna be really honest with you guys. Let's break down the egg prices. How much are eggs in your guys' area? And I'm gonna do the math of how much if we ate eggs every single day. How much are eggs for you guys? I know it was $6 for 18, which would be 2 days. 2 days worth of eggs. That would be $90 worth of eggs for my family. If we ate 9 eggs a day. And I'm sorry, you guys need yeah, it's like $6 a dozen. So you got to think like a dozen's going to last me and my family a day and a half. $9 for an 18 count. So let's go off the 915. 915. There's 30 days in a month. Let's say cuz we eat eggs almost every day. We try to eat eggs as much as possible, okay? I times that by 15. That's $137 in eggs. And then you're gonna see families going to cheap cereals and those filler like, you don't have to have eggs every day, but if I chose to have eggs every day, I'm gonna eat them, right? That's good. Those are good fats. That's good protein. That's good for your body. Think about our time with the Great Depression. How many people's bodies were nutrient deficient? Eggs are very, very important. Move the red line to the right. It fixes it. What's the red line? I don't know what that means. Or are you talking about on the bottom? Up the road for like $5? Oh, the feed is delayed. The bottom right of the screen. So just move the if it's delayed, just pull the thing all the way to the side on the bottom of the screen. But egg prices, you guys need to start thinking about what's essential for your body. As we go into a food crisis, if you haven't seen one of my previous videos, I was talking about the 10 thing or no, I did 13 things that you guys should be stocking up right now with the way that things are going. Um, you should have an abundance of these. If you can get chickens, get chickens. For us, I'm not going to be buying noodles if they go back to COVID prices on noodles again. Oh, hell no. My son loves his noodles. I will master the perfect way to make a noodle. I would rather be an ingredient household than going out to the store. Cocoa. Cocoa is imported, you guys. If you do not realize that, if you are a chocolate fan, chocolate is imported. You are bound to see increases on those prices. Plus, Brazil went through a drought. A lot of the areas down where cocoa is went down. You guys need to go back down to the basics. Homemade biscuits and gravy, eggs. People chose eggs as a protein because they weren't going to have meat later on in the day. If prices continue to skyrocket, buy yourself meat from a local farmer. I buy a half a cow and we buy a whole pig. But if you don't have those options, you're going to have to start really looking at your ingredients. Pancakes are a great filler for kids, but you're going to want to include proteins in it. Yep. Eat what comes natural. Yes, exactly. Grits. Oh, yes, the grit era. My grandparents, so our favorite, and I like to call it's a Great Depression breakfast. It's a Great Depression breakfast. My grandpa and my grandma, this is what I ate. If I wasn't eating eggs and toast, I was eating this. It was oatmeal and it had raisins in it. Oatmeal and raisins. Add a little bit of sugar on the top, a little bit of milk. Perfect. Oatmeal and raisins. Did anybody else eat that? My grandpa also believed that, a lot of medicine comes from the ground, right? Every single day he ate a clove of garlic and he ate onions on everything. Man lived to be 98 years old. He was born in 1910. Oh, you love grits? Biscuits and gravy was your every weekend? Mhm. Cooking from home is cheaper than going out. I tested this. I was craving some Polly food. I was craving some Hawaiian food. I went and got dinner for my family of 5. It was 60 fucking dollars. Oh, your girl's gonna be frying up some spam and rice, and I have my own seaweed, right? Like, no, we're not doing this. I'll make the teriyaki chicken. I'll try my best to reincorporate that, but I am not eating out anymore. Ooh, cream of wheat with a little bit of sugar and milk. Yes, Jordan. Absolutely. What do you guys think is gonna be the next price hike? Because we know most of the time that it's these big box stores. These big box stores are what is gonna charge you the most money. None of this shit that we just mentioned is imported. There's no reason for the prices to be going up further. Oh, yes. Steak? Oh, 100%. 100%. Paper products? I haven't looked at paper products. What are they running for? I think meat is gonna be sky high. Does anybody remember last summer when they were penalizing potatoes? Idaho kept getting their water cut off. How many of you guys remember that? Because most of you guys don't know that the potatoes that you're eating right now are from the previous season, not the current season coming up. Do we think that there will be a shortage? They were penalizing farmers. They didn't want them to grow as much. I'm going to go grab my coffee really fast. Do we think that that's going to be the shortage that we see? I got the coffee. We got the coffee. I feel very heavy in my soul that it's going to be potatoes. So for me, I'm actually canning up as much potatoes as possible before they jack up those prices because potatoes are excellent. Woo. Let's see. Let's see if we can fix that. Live off the land. I don't get much. Exactly, Frank. So most of my stuff I can myself. This year I only grew, I'm not gonna lie, I only grew about 10 pounds of potatoes. I did not do well in the potatoes. I blame it on the German Shepherd dog. The German Shepherd dog definitely did a lot of destruction to, especially my sweet potato plants. They all died. Every single one of them died. But for me, we have apple trees, peach trees. Um, we grow almost all of our own greens. Our squash from the season lasted all winter. The year before, I grew a lot more squash. This year, I didn't grow as much as I would have liked. Because sometimes you have good seasons and sometimes you have bad seasons. This year, I felt like it was a bad season. You can just about everything. Same, Frank. That canning a way to preserve your food so important. I feel like that is an aspect. You get those gear hungry preppers on here that are like prep, 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 prep. But then they're like, buy this gear, do this. And then they lack the skill of growing your own food because when I'm preserving and I'm growing my own food, you guys, I'm not growing it in the intent that I'm going to empty out my jars and throw them away. I'm growing that because that's stuff that we pull off of our shelf. I would love to learn how to grow tobacco. That is one area I would love to learn because that could come in handy if the apocalypse was to happen. I feel like this chat is so much more peaceful than what's been happening on TikTok. TikTok, we sit in there and there's 200 people, 100 and something people, and it has been just political after political after political. Whether you like him or you hate him, I feel like Trump's going to be making a lot of people preppers. Whether you like them or you hate them, because you're not going to be able to outsource as much. You're going to have to actually rely on growing your own food. And maybe it is time that our society crumbles in that sense. Maybe it is that you're not paying big stores. Oh my gosh, a lot of trolls. Oh yeah, Floyd. I have a quarter of a million followers over there and I'm done. Like I'd rather come to YouTube because we can actually talk about things where people aren't going to be hurt. I Whether I voted or I didn't vote for him. Maybe this and the tariffs is finally going to cause people to start growing and really make that push for self-sustainability. I'll make a video for you. Oh, okay, perfect, Andrew. Exactly. Make victory gardens great again. My family believed firmly in it. So, because of my grandparents, they both went through World War II, and my grandpa went through the Great Depression. His family did. My grandma wasn't born yet, but my great grandma was alive and she taught me about it. Who wants to go back to ration cards? Because we were really close to going back to ration cards during the pandemic. If people don't realize how bad our supply chain was hit and affected, we were very close to World War II ration cards. Everything had a limit. You weren't allowed to buy stuff. You had to go in constantly. You were waiting in lines. You were going into the store. And why are we in the stores again? So, if anything I see out of this, it could be a positive. Every single person should have a victory garden. Every single person should have a garden. Having a perfectly manicured, fully fertilized front yard, beautiful manicured front yard, that all that screams is elite. You're too good? You're too good to grow your own food? So the moment that the food crisis happens and the economical collapse happens, what about the supply ship that hit the bridge? Yeah, exactly. They have limits on eggs where you live. Exactly. My family eats 9 eggs a day. Could you imagine if I was told to I have 8 birds. I have 8 birds. I had 12 last year. We lost 4 this year. So I'm replacing them with another 4 birds. Why? Because I'd rather pay the $20 in feed than how much it would cost to feed eggs. I don't want eggs for my family to be a luxury item. They come out of a chicken's butt, okay? Why should eggs be a luxury item? We shouldn't be there. We shouldn't be thinking about eggs are a luxury item. Somebody had asked me if I water glass eggs. I do not water glass eggs. I freeze dry my eggs. I'm going to turn this camera around so you guys can see, like right now, this is just the first start because here in the Rockies, it's pretty cold here. But we have our first, there's 2 trays on that side, but it looks like 1 tray. And then this tray right here. And I'll be starting next week, the next, because a garden, you're going to want to have that rotation. Supply and demand. Yep. You have 20 chickens? Yeah. We should have, people shouldn't be penalized if they can't have chickens. And people should not be going to the box store to find out their limit. They should be talking to their local farmer because I can tell you right now, we don't eat 9 eggs a day every single day. We have an abundance of eggs, especially in the summertime. An abundance of eggs. If somebody came to me and said, "Hey, I'll give you $5, blah blah blah," I'm going to give them eggs. I'm going to give them eggs because once I get an abundance, once my bowl fills up of eggs, then I have to I wash all of them, then I crack all of them, then I whisk them up. Now I'm going to run them in my freeze dryer and yeah, I'll get an entire huge bag filled with eggs that are freeze dried. But sometimes I don't want to run the freeze dryer constantly, especially in the summer. In 2021, we had 2 major routes cut off from flooding and mudslides. The supply chain was disrupted and I was fine. People were out panic buying like crazy. Oh, absolutely. I guarantee they were. I guarantee right there. I'm going to pin that. I don't know how pinning messages work, but hopefully you guys can see it just a little bit better as I make the move to YouTube. I'm going to be upgrading everything. I got a different mic and get our setup going different so things are a little bit clearer and better for everybody. You can't have a rooster in a city, but you can have children. Yeah. Yeah. Children are loud. We had a friend ask if they could raise a cow on our land for a percentage of the meat. That's a great idea, Tina. That's a great idea. And that, if anything, people who hate our current president or hated our previous president, if anything that comes from this, and this isn't just in the United States, you guys, this is worldwide. There's a food crisis and shortages in all different countries. Okay. If anything that this brings, it should bring people being self-reliant. We've already seen it. Elon digging into things, money being spent. I remember them telling us, "Oh, we're just going to raise your taxes just a little bit more. We need another school." Now I find out that they've been paying money to everywhere else. They deserve an audit, every bit of them. And what happens if they go into Fort Knox and the gold is gone? Let's talk about that conspiracy theory. You realize the US dollar will crumble? Our world economic will crumble. It will crumble. It will crumble because we don't have the gold that we claim we do. Yeah, that vault has not been like it has not been audited like a full in-depth audit since 1972. Hi, Chrissy. Yeah, the dollar isn't even attached to gold, but there's a lot of weight that comes with that money. Well, with that gold. They opened one door that one time. Oh, you didn't need to retract your message, Andrew. You were totally fine. Don't worry. I'm not going to come at you. Trust me. Like it's Our society, I mean, people are investing money in Bitcoin, a coin that you physically can't even hold. Money is becoming an illusion as we speak. Digital currency is destroying our country, and it's destroying the world. Yep, last audit 1974. So it wasn't 1972, it was 1974. Building a network is it's a lot harder than it seems, but at the same time it's pretty easy. You can have a very generalized prepping conversation with people without letting them know that you are a prepper. You don't just go up to somebody and go, "Hi, my name is so and so and I'm a prepper." You have conversations of, so now that grocery prices are increasing, what are you doing to combat that? Every person should already have a plan, attack an emotion, not a physical attack. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh, David, send me links. Send me links because I am so down to go down that rabbit hole. Um, but when you start talking to them and they're like, "Well, I just don't know," or, "Oh, blah, blah, blah," and then, if somebody's like, "Oh, I'm planning I raise my own, I'm gonna be doing a bigger garden this year," you're like, "Oh," you just start vetting them just a little bit. Then the next thing you ask them, you go, "Hey, what do you think about what if the grid was to go down? Like, do you think Russia could hack our grid and dismantle it?" And if they intrigue into that conversation, you may or may not have a friend right there. And that is where you can start getting that conversation going. Does that make sense? Where you can start like vetting them and being like, "Oh, they do believe that the grid can go down. Do you prep for when the grid goes down?" And you just start having an open conversation. This is where you can create with your friends groups. Most of our friends, we didn't even realize prepped on a level that we didn't even realize. And I was like, "Oh, what are you going to do for water filtration?" We start talking about it. We start bouncing ideas off of each other. Then it's, well, what if shit hits the fan? And so at the moment you say to somebody, what if SHTF happens? And they realize they know what those words mean. And they're like, I know. You found yourself a friend. Okay, perfect. You once you start finding your friends, you'll start realizing like maybe you do know, maybe you have other people you can rely on. But don't go looking for preppers to rely on them. Most preppers want to be self-sustaining by themselves. For us, like out on the homestead, we do have a group that is allowed to come out to where we're at. But we're not looking for I'm not looking for somebody to do the prepping for me, and I'm not looking for somebody to do the prepping for. And let's go into everybody wanted to talk about that Homestead video, the movie. And because I won't be censored over here and I won't be shoved into a corner if I talk about Homestead. Let's talk about the intro. Who in here has all seen the movie Homestead? First of all, I was highly disappointed the size of the house compared to the farm. These people were planning to sustain a large group, and that house was obnoxious. Obnoxious. Right off the rip, when you go into the movie, you have a nuclear event. There's a nuke set off on the ocean. It is a attack. They see what is happening, but everybody goes straight to their phones. That doesn't really line up with EMPs. Why would your phone be working? Why are you calling your husband down at his office that's right where it happened? First flaw. First flaw I saw that I did not like. And then you go into, you know, they were dawning. They put on blankets over them. Great idea. You want those alpha and those beta particles not to get onto your skin. It would have been nice if they had some masks. That would have been much more helpful. But then they got in the car with their blankets on. You're trying to protect Why are we deleting? Don't delete. Bushwookie. Hi, Serena. It definitely made people feel like, um, just be careful, guys, on like doing too much in here. We haven't really needed to mod heavily compared to TikTok. TikTok is an absolute dumpster fire right now. Um, and I'd rather not be part of that. But okay, so they put on these blankets, they get into their vehicles, they go into their vehicles, and then they take their blankets off and they have them sitting in their lap. No, you want to be dothing that, right? Oh, you just did a review of the movie. Ah, maybe I should, maybe I should just hold my opinions in and do a review of it, local prepper. What do you think? Maybe I'll only touch certain subjects on here. Because I definitely probably should just do a full-on review. I did a small micro review of like 1 minute on TikTok. But you know what? Maybe that's what. The nuke that did nothing, right? The nuke that did nothing. I agree. Now, were there good parts to it in the movie? Yes, there was some good parts, some really good retrospect to it. Having a security force that was hired in. Did the mother or the wife to the guy who was in special ops have any realization to what was happening? No, God, no. It was like a hamster in a wheel. The house was so over the top. You know what? Maybe that's what I'll do. Today, maybe I will do a review on that video because I feel there's so many areas in that movie that I can cover. Definitely the getting on a highway, they're gridlocked somewhere in the Rockies. I truly believe that this was probably based out of like Ogden's Park City, Canyons of the Rockies here in Utah, just by the house overload. We have very similar houses here. Oh yeah, the biodefense mode in Tesla is really cool. It's a really cool feature. It is a very cool feature in an e-car that I do not like Tesla, but that is probably the one moment that I would actually think about getting a Tesla. But it ain't gonna go very far. I mean, they don't travel very far on their charge, not whatsoever. I think it's 312 miles of a charge that you get. Oh, keep going. Okay, local preppers filling this. We're both filling this. So they arrive at this place, okay? They got a gate. It's daunting. The house. Oh God, it's an eyesore. It is up and above. It's Rapunzel. It's at least the part that I do respect in it is the main character. He definitely had to hire security. He definitely realized it created a compound too big for his own doing. There is, let's see, once they get in, the security force, the wife seems to have some military background, but she at the same time is in like this ideal, like they all are in this ideal that FEMA is going to come save them. The government is going to come save them. And this is just a guy who had a lot of freaking money that just felt like he was going to survive anything because, the government was going to come save. He wasn't truly immersed in the prepping. He was immersed into the gadgets. It wasn't his full. Your review was 15 minutes long and still had 3 pages. Screw up because I didn't talk about. Oh, I know, right? There's just so much to that movie. There is good parts to it. They were growing so much fruit and vegetables, but they weren't growing any protein. Like I really only caught I think I saw 2 chickens walking around. 2 animals. Well, the security force guy, he had backyard chickens. Oh, the glass. Yeah. I definitely should just do a full on review on it because there is so many parts of that movie that was unrealistic. Like, why the fuck were they making so much wine? So much wine. Wine is great. It's a great thing to have into your prepper's pantry. But at the same time, wouldn't canning some of that fruit be more essential? Now, I do want to know who their distributor was for all their military tents. I may want a few of those for myself. But who, the moral compass of the movie was like overbearing. You have the security force's son that goes up to do a perimeter security. And first of all, why do you have two new people posting security? First of all, just from somebody who has served. And yeah, we had a unit leave on our post. And while their unit was coming in to replace them that they were training, they needed people who were experienced. So we posted security guard and gate guard because we needed other people to be trained up before they took over. You're not going to leave inexperienced people to do your entire perimeter security. You have to have your own protocol. And I'm telling you right now, no hunter out there is staring down a scope to go look. Most of us have a rangefinder. Most of us have binos on us. Squinter, I have a whole video on it. I have a video on the toilet paper tablets. I have both. I rated two different ones. I would definitely go check that out. They made too much of an effort to cover prepper catchphrases. Oh, yes. 100%. Like when the son shot the hunter and then all of a sudden they were like losing their mind. You could tell that some of these people were following some of our channels. Part of the directors, you know that they followed some channels on here. I have friends who like I've done some interviews with people who work with Angel Productions, and I found out some of them watched my channel. You can't eat bullets. Yes. You can't eat bullets. Yep, that's that one. It's so nice to be able to say guns and ammunition without getting flagged over here. TikTok. Oh my God, the censorship. The amount of people that the the way that they wanted to argue. They wanted to argue about all of my people go out shooting on a regular basis. My kids go shooting. Do I think that they are tactical savvy on any level? Abso-fucking-lutely not. My friends that like to come out and go shooting with us, do I think that they can run drills? No. No, I don't. No, I don't. You've been on HBO and nobody has called you? I feel like they browsed a lot of channels and then they definitely did not do the research that comes in behind it. That is true. There is just so many things out there that were just wrong with the video. There was good aspects that I felt like they could have brought it a better light. So growing and preserving their own food, I'm not gonna lie, like why? Why do you have them making wine if you don't have enough food put away? I feel like there's so many aspects in it. They missed the mark. They missed the mark. Who let the fucking assistant let somebody into the vault? I am telling you right now, ain't nobody coming into my vault. Is it buffering or are we doing good? Oh God, am I getting censored? I'm gonna wait. Is it frozen or buffering? You guys let me know. You're good now? We're good? Okay, so let's go into before people arrived. Let's go back to the beginning. So you have the average family, middle class. essentially what they're considering the poor family, but it's not poor. Okay. I grew up poor. It's not poor. They're definitely the average blue collar worker. Um, First of all, how many damn people did they have out at this compound that they knew exactly what these people had? First mistake, number one. That one's a fucking fatal mistake. TikTok is acting up today. Carry on. Okay. Um, but you have, this average home, right? And they're straight off the rip rationing their food, right? They're straight off the rip rationing their food. And I have to agree with the assumption, like, as somebody from Utah, I got my Black Rifle cup right here. I like my Black Rifle cup coffee. This was my Valentine's Day gift from my husband because he knows that I'm an advocate for gun collection and I love to go shooting, right? So, nothing more than a patriotic company and a, you know, veteran owned, big supporter, okay? So this average guy, this average Joe that is um rationing his food with his family by candlelight. Once again, candles are very, very important. Solar is a little bit better, but sooner or later there's going to be a cloudy day and you might not have solar to recharge some of your devices. But they're at candlelight, right? And he is wearing a black rifle hat. A black rifle hat. But the man doesn't own a gun. Now, my assumption is because it says it's in the Rockies, and I know where Angel Productions is based out of here in Utah. My assumption is it's probably a Heber house, a Park City house, or Ogden Canyon. I'm already assuming where they were specifying where this is taking place because I drive through these areas. I'm from here. He was not prepared for shit. Um, he did not own a gun. I was baffled by that. His daughter needs to go to the restroom. I'm sorry. But if you have little girls and little boys, if shit hits the fan, you're going to be using a bucket in your home. If you have not prepped to take a dump inside your home, and then we will figure out there's many ways that you can get rid of your human waste. But for those who have fireplaces, storing up on ash, all of these things, there's so many ways, okay? So many ways for this waste. We're talking about Homestead. That they're going to go out in the dark and pop a squat. First, he doesn't want to go out with his daughter. I'm sorry. Shit hits the fan. The apocalypse, doomsday, the moment we've all been waiting for. My kids aren't going anywhere without me present. That is my job. That is my sole job to make sure that they are safe and okay. The series, that's what I've heard. So, yep, the series is better. I have not started the series because I wanted to do my full raw review of Homestead. First before I jump into that one. But I'm glad that you said that this series is better. Yeah, it's a movie and then it turns into a TV series. Everybody that is amazing, Joey. That is amazing. Before you came out. Like if you have kids, you're not going to have them go out. Now, when they're starting off this movie and they're panning to this guy and he's rationing his food, at that moment, we are only day 1 or 2 into the apocalypse. I've told you guys my 5-day theory. My 5-day theory, and I've done a lot of research into it. It's about 5 days before you see utter chaos. We go through hurricanes. Our country goes through a lot of natural disasters. There's areas that can go without power. And the average household has a lot more shelf-stable food than most people realize. When people say, I want to start prepping, where do I look? And I'm like, I want you to go take an inventory of the shelf-stable food you have already in your pantry. So when you are looking at this pantry, you shouldn't be rationing right off the rip on day 1. You should be pretty comfortable unless Yeah, once you hit honestly, after 5 days, that's when panic ensues, like, is the power not coming back on? When are we gonna get communication? What is actually happening? But this is all happening on rapid fire in, like, the first 48 hours, you know? Bug out to this person's property. Now, if there is looting and rioting going on in the area, I highly encourage you're gonna leave. You're either gonna stand your ground or you're gonna leave, and there's gonna probably be a lot more. But the fact that the man had a black rifle hat on and didn't own a gun, I was actually shook by it. I was actually shook. I was like, "All right, okay, all right. Well, you're not as prepped as I thought you were gonna be." And just the essence that he gives off, you would think he'd be a little bit more prepped for the apocalypse or any kind of catastrophic event, but he definitely wasn't. So they load it up in their vehicle and they take off and they go up onto this hill. The fact that there's people already gathering at the gate of this hill was the owner's issue. How many damn people did he have in? I own over 70 acres of a homestead, and I can tell you right now, there's about been only 5 people on that property, and those 5 people are people that I would take in on that property in a heartbeat. Nobody else has been out there. And the bougie house on the hill, obviously, he had to hire every single person to come out to build something on there. He has no building skills whatsoever. It's the Sigma that worries you? Oh, that's what worries me, Sigma. Oh, Sigma is his name. Okay, perfect. So you have all of these things that are all going on, and he's begging at the gate, and they're gonna turn him away. Now, mind you, he's already worked on their property. They weren't just friends. They knew each other, and he had worked on their property. He said it. He said it very loudly. He said, "I came out there and helped them." But then it was a status quo of who they were gonna let in. You brought in a military militia to work and post gate security because obviously you're not equipped and prepped in that aspect. But did you not think about blue collar? Did you not think about people who know how to build things? Yeah, builder non-disclosure agreements mean nothing when shit hits the fan. How many of you guys think that there's going to be hundreds of people showing up at Zuckerberg's bunker? Those non-disclosure agreements don't do that. Oh, exactly. Exactly. And second of all, for a house that big, I would at least assume they have a bunker. I don't know. I haven't started the TV series, so I don't know if they have a bunker on there. But at the time, they're not really preluding that they don't have a bunker. If I'm going to have $1 million house, I'm telling you, I'd rather have a $400,000 house than a $600,000 bunker at the end of the day. Another part when they were talking about how cold, like, I don't think a lot of people realize, unless you live in a mountain range, I do. The Rocky Mountains are unforgiving. There is a reason why a lot of preppers are in the Rocky Mountains. You ain't gonna not a lot of people are gonna make it over there. I am not worried about North Korea. I am not worried about a lot of other countries. Russia could be compatible, okay? I lived in Alaska. Russia is cold just like Alaska is. They would make their way around. But I'm sorry, the UK, they cry when it gets cold. The Middle East, they cry when it gets cold. Okay, I'm not too worried about people. Russia? Sure. Why not? We could say we're worried about there. But when it comes to the fact that this place is in the Rocky Mountains and they're not even worried about the cold, they're not gathering firewood. They're talking about winter. They're talking about all like it's going to be cold, that their food, all of these things are happening, right? Don't get me started on the Connex. The Connex just but it's gonna be cold. Where's their wood storage? Y'all know I just started our homestead. Our homestead was completely untouched land, and the first thing we put up was a woodshed. We want areas to keep our wood dry because we want to keep our resources dry. We haven't even started constructing the main cabin yet, but we want areas that are stored. Let's talk about the Connex. The Connex. Who left the damn Connex door open? The rodents? It chewed through one side of his grain, and the entire batch is ruined? How many people in here that prep would assume because a rodent made it in on that huge, and I'm talking those tubs right there are like 265-gallon water container kind of style tubs, okay? 265 gallons. You're gonna assume because that corner is chewed that the entire grain supply is wasted? You guys have seen when I stay out on the homestead, it's 11 degrees. 11 degrees. And that was a decent night. Sometimes it's negatives. Did a lot of backpacking through Alaska. I like to stay out. I like to use the elements to my advantage. I enjoy it. I enjoy being completely disconnected from society. But would I assume that because it got in there, oh, it was dumb. Local prepper. He's like, if you don't know local prepper, I follow his stuff. We have a lot of really good mutual friends. Pappy, I love local prepper. Give him a follow. He's awesome. I actually watch your stuff. You actually motivated me to come do lives over here. Because of Pappy. The fact that he just assumed that 265 gallons was like completely just, it's done. I don't know about you, but I'd be like, "Nah, we're gonna make this work. We gonna make this work." The rat just adds protein. But most of your connexes are rodent proof. If you seal the doors the correct way, you close them the correct way, you make sure you seal your holes. Who left the damn door open? I had so many questions. And who okay, I'm getting worked up. There's so many parts of this movie. Like I think it was good for those introductions for people who want to start prepping. I feel like it's like one of those like hook line sinker like okay, come and start prepping with us. But for us that immensely in depth in this lifestyle. I mean, I grew up with preppers. Okay, this is just I don't know anything different. I sometimes wish I was a normal person that just did not think about what ifs. Maybe put my head in the sand. But I just don't. It is just not the way I was raised. But you go in, you got your security force. Did you notice that the security they're talking about food? There's not going to be enough food to make it through the winter with all these people. But you got your security force walking around just gobbling apples, just gobbling them. They're all eating. They're all eating all the time. They're literally throwing fruit tree stuff around all the time. Did we not think about this? Was this an area that just was not thought about? I'm sorry, if you're picking off my apple trees, I think I'm going to be making applesauce and canning them. And you may get today might be your ration that you're allowed to have that, but they obviously weren't rationing. And what was up with all the damn flowers? You have a whole goddamn greenhouse filled with freaking flowers? Flowers. Bees are important. We're going to be putting a hive out on the property also. But I have questions. I have like legitimate questions. Why are we not growing microgreens and vegetables inside, getting a faster grow life? What? You can grow for a very long time in a greenhouse. Why was there so many damn cynicism? The director said, "Bite this apple and look like an asshole." That's a possibility. That is a very big possibility right there. Bite this apple and look like an a-hole. Um, it definitely there was no really forethought on it. I prepped for 7 people And I still think with as much as I prep just in this property and the other property alone, I could probably house probably 15 people for a good solid grow season. But I'm working towards 2 years of a very heavy supply for everybody. Now, probably not as much in the protein aspect, and that is one area that I'm trying to, like, hit onto it, but it definitely gave, um, rich prepper vibes. They did not have animals. They did not there was no animals. How are there's no protein. Um, you have all this money, why don't you have freeze dryers running? Yeah, grow lights. I got grow lights right behind me right now. Like, there were so many different parts of this video movie that were just missing the mark. I feel like one area that they did hit really on the head with, I really do think that they did a good job with the security force. I feel like they did hit that. And that's just from an ops perspective, and not everybody's going to have that. You are only going to last as long as you have ammo. The fight is only going to last as long as you have ammo. Truthfully, like, honest to God, and water. You're going to get, if you've ever been in a firefight, you're going to be thirsty. You're going to be thirsty. But the fight is only as good as long as you have your ammunition. So I know that people went into this movie near the end when you have that bureaucrat, he shows back up, the mayor or whatever, right? And he shows up with the SWAT team. I feel like they did conserve their ammo. They did do a big flex of force, but they did conserve their ammo because they're not going to have any more unless they're reloading it. And these guys, no offense, some of them look like douches. They don't look like they're going to be reloading anything anytime soon. They look like they're more just straight across the board tack and tack only. There's nothing wrong with tack only, but I know a lot of tack only and they forget where their supplies come from. So people wanted a much bigger show of force, a more umph of a fight. But realistically, just that show of force alone derailed it. Now, the fact that they let that bureaucrat leave the property, there's no reason he should have been in their vault at the very beginning. The assistant should have been kicked off the property from get-go. Like, he was a horrible bettor. Like, he could not make a rational decision on his own and did not deserve to survive. Sorry, not everyone's going to deserve to survive in the apocalypse, or World War III. Not everyone is going to survive. And that is just the cold heart truth of it. But you look at, he let that mayor, that guy, that bureaucrat, that the politician into where the vault was. Who gave him the fucking keys? First of all, if anybody ever saw the way I store things up, they aren't leaving. If we are talking rule of law is gone, he is not leaving that property. They have no reason to come into any part of your property without a warrant. And rule of law was gone. So the warrant wouldn't mean shit anyways, to be fair. Some some bullshit about that there is not enough porta potties for the amount of people that they're housing. Security guy was right off on the bat. He goes, "That guy's scared. That guy's scared and we're going to have problems." No, 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 no. No, you're going to have problems. Nobody should be coming in. You shouldn't be letting people into where your vault is. Nobody on TikTok knows even how much, even close to how much ammunition we store. They get to see a container, they get to see 4 boxes, they get to see a tote, and that is it. Nobody should be having access to what you store up or all of the weapons that you store up. Whether people assume, I'd rather have the internet assume that I only own 4, that we only own 2 body armor vests. My husband has a different brand than I do. There's always gonna be a power hungry individual, and most of the time people are scared. Most of the time. Oh, yeah. You could definitely use it to seed. The fact that the whole show was a dumpster in its own. Did I think it was good for getting people to wanna start prepping? Yeah, we talk about it all the time. EMP goes off, 90% of the population will die, blah, 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 blah. We need people to start prepping. Why? Because there's only 10% that are gonna survive, and no offense, I don't want any of you fuckers knocking on my door. I'd rather have you prepare for yourself. I only own 4. Everything else has been lost. Everything. They can take the 4. They're not even that great. Um, but I don't want people knocking on my door. So the more people we reach, the more people that start prepping. But as I'm watching TikTok crumble, maybe it's not even worth trying to get people to prep. Maybe we are hitting SHTF. Maybe it's time to only focus in on those who want to push in the effort to prep. Follower count doesn't matter. Have I hit a cynical part? Do I want you guys to prep? Yeah. But I'm not going to go want to start prepping. They want to learn, they're going to learn. If they don't, they don't. If they have a bougie ass mansion on the top of the hill and they've let everybody know that they're preparing for the end of times and everybody shows up. I mean, let's be real. They don't even have a fence. They don't even have a drawn out perimeter line. And you have all these people just chilling at your gate. They're not doing anything. Let's smash that. It helps, right? Like, they're all just chilling at the gate. They're starving and cold and freezing, and they're just starving at the gate. Has everybody just forgot that they have 2 legs? I would have walked around the other side. But none of them were prepped. None of them were prepped. None of them have Second Amendment. No, none of them have. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the dude that's off his psych meds. He's a liability in itself. I don't care who the hell you're married to. You come in dancing like you just hit up Vegas and had a great old time, and that you told people where you were going. Oh, I'd be showing you the way out. That guy was hilarious. He was funny. He was funny. And maybe they could have found him a job. I don't even know if I want him around the food supply. In charge of human. Maybe that would be his job. I mean, everybody can have a job. But he's a liability in himself. He's like, Vegas is up and running. Was it? Was it? You've got kids. The hormones are surging. You got 2 teenagers looking at each other with love dove vibes. Last thing you want to be doing is having a fucking baby in the apocalypse. I hope they're prepped in other ways. But who are we kidding? Most of society has lost all brain cells when it comes to that aspect. They would rather have kids. They'd rather mess around and then have children and not know what to do with them. I mean, that's just part of normal society now. Yeah, I prep clothes. I'm constantly always we always buy things in double the size. I think they were relying on the wildlife on the property. I didn't really even see any wildlife. Did any of you guys see any wildlife on the property? Like, they had the hunter scene, but I really didn't see any wildlife. There wasn't much in bins. So in our camper, we have clothes. So like my daughter, my oldest, my 13-year-old can wear the same clothes as me. Even having a baby nowadays is sketchy, right? Not that we have choices in those kind of things, but I'm telling you right now, if it was the apocalypse, and let's say I was not fixed, I am fixed, but it's the apocalypse. And if I wasn't, I love my husband, but I don't love him enough to die in child labor. I got other shit I got to focus on. Yeah, hunters everywhere, but there was no deer. Hunters everywhere, but there was no deer. The hunter that got shot was pretty wild. The hunter that got shot was like the biggest poser hunter I've ever seen in my entire life. That you couldn't even make that up on a rom-com comedy. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I have been hunting since I was a very little girl. And I am telling you right now, if I wanted to see if there was somebody up on that hill, I would not take my scope to look at them. Now I have my binos. My binos are always hanging. There's a bino set right over here. My binos are always hanging around my neck. Would I take my binos out to go see what I'm noticing? If there's another hunter up on that hill, if there's another person over there? Yeah. Rangefinder? Yeah. But would I look down at my scope and just assume that the hunter is my uncle up on the ridge? PTSD riddled veteran. Um, Would I look at my uncle through a scope? Would I go and look up at some other hunter through my scope? Abso-fucking-lutely not. No, Robert, I have not watched any of the episodes. I was gonna hold off because I'm gonna do an entire analysis of the movie from beginning to end. I think that's what I'm gonna do today because there is so much depth to that movie that so many things. The ball was dropped. Did I like it? Yes. I mean, I like a good prepping movie, but still to this day, I'm always gonna look at I like Goodbye World. Not a lot of people like Goodbye World, but from a prepper aspect, I really like Goodbye World. If you've never seen Goodbye World, some people are gonna love it and some people are gonna hate it. You never kick out somebody out of your fucking group. So somebody's gonna go tell you what kind of supplies you have. I like Goodbye World. When I am talking to people who have been out to our property and I'm trying to explain different things on prepping aspects, I'm expecting you to learn things because if one day I wasn't here, I have kids and I want to make sure that they know what to do. I want to make sure that my husband knows what to do on things that he didn't grow up with. But Homestead missed the mark. Missed the mark on a lot. But I'm glad local prepper's in here and he told me that the show gets better. So I'm looking forward to watching the show because I had not even dabbled into the show. Yeah, Goodbye World is one of my absolute favorite movies. Oh, you're good, Jennifer. I'm glad you're here. It's one of those things like I love Jericho. Season 1 Jericho, absolutely love. Yeah, there's some prepper aspects that they like really miss the mark on there, but I really do love it. Like I really do like it. Now season 2, not so much. It got a little weird in there for everybody. Ooh, The Borrowed World. But Homestead, it missed the mark. It missed the mark. Local prepper, how many people did we count on that property? Did you get a physical count? I'm trying to remember off the top of it. Because you got the owner, the wife, their kid, the daughter. You've got the nurse that freaks out on the son, you got the doctor, you got the assistant who sucks. You've got I feel like I saw 2 people in the garden. You got the kid that was up on the ridge with the son. You got your special ops guy, so that's 10. His wife and his 3 kids, right? Because it's 3. It's the son who likes to pose with the hatchet. You got the daughter that's like psychic, and you got the younger one. Okay, so you got those 3 kids. Then you got Rambo, you got Kevin Lawrence off of TikTok in there. Okay, you got Rambo. Ooh, trying to get it to focus. There we go. You got your Rambo, you got your Kevin Lawrence from TikTok. There's like 2 or 3 other special op guys that show up. I mean, we're like on like 20 people, right? 20 people. You got a house, and I'm not even. Oh, oh, it's a tap button. Huh. Figured that one out today. Oh, thank you so much, David. I appreciate it. We're back. I figured it out. I figured out my muting. That way I can keep track. It's getting better. Equipment's getting better. But yeah, definitely when I'm looking at the aspects of like 7 people I prep for, and ultimately when you combine 2 families on the same property, I mean, we're pretty close to 20 in numbers. I want to prep a whole shitload more food. Oh, we heard that you've got a house. My house is like 4,000 square feet. Okay. That house on that hill is straight up over 10,000 square feet. That is definitely a mansion. That thing is overcompensating. It is little man syndrome in a big truck. Um Now, is there flex moves like with the militia group? Okay, so they come in all tacked out when they're arriving to the property. Let's talk about the vehicles. Some people want to show up gray man style. You got 2 different ways. You can be concealed as a prepper where people don't really look at you, right? Like you got your Tesla driver. I ain't even gonna look at that person, right? Right. Okay. All right. You got your people who are traveling in just regular vehicle. No offense, that puts a whole different level of target on you. If you are meeting a bad guy, we're gonna call them bad guys on the street. If you look like you're driving a little Honda Civic, there's a chance I might try to take that, whatever you got going. Um, you look a certain way, you're gonna be probably approached by people a little bit quicker. Now, when you look at the way that they rolled up, now did their stuff scream out very loud and clear what they were gonna do? Yeah. Would people still try to approach them to try to take their stuff? Yeah, they're going to. I think no matter which way you travel in the apocalypse, you are a target in some aspect. But traveling a little bit more tacked out, you got some pros and cons to it. It definitely is a flex. It definitely backs people off. But at the same time, are people going to want to take what you have? Yes. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. All you need is one good hunter with one good shot. One good guy with one good shot. You might be taking on some people. Um, like for our family, ourselves, like my husband, he has a very average looking truck. It's a big truck, but it's not lifted. It doesn't scream out loud. My Jeep, it does scream. It does scream a little bit more louder. Learning on the fly, yeah. Why wasn't the valuables in a safe? That was a whole vault room. I'm pretty sure my friend designs, he does construction and he's created some vault rooms. Most of those rooms of the room that you were looking at, the valuables, um, a lot of houses here, I can kind of show like We've even looked at it. So, like this entry point right here, where they actually put a safe door that opens up going into it. We actually looked at doing that. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those big vault doors. Those big vault doors, they're an actual vault. The problem is for me myself, it would just be a fancy door for this room. It would have zero purpose. I could get in with a vault door right there in moments. It would only take me moments to go through the drywall or to go underneath through the closet and go against the wall and push through. Like most of those are aesthetic and they're definitely a rich person flex. Most of their rooms when they install those vault doors, if you're from Utah and you see those, they have not made concrete walls. So it is still able to get into. Um, but yeah, he definitely there was so many aspects to that movie that just it missed the mark. It missed the mark. It was a good idea. I do love like the one takeaway from that movie that I really did love was his organization system for the serving sizes. But the fact is he did not have any of how many people he had on the property. So I didn't understand his math with it. But I did like that. That was something that I definitely would like to put in is having a system to be able to do it. Yeah, the basement gun vaults. Yeah. One of my friends actually makes the basement gun vaults. Um, definitely, I just feel like some of it, it missed the ball. It missed the ball. There's a lot to that movie. So I guess that's what if you want to know how more I feel about that movie, I will definitely go into a full video on it. It might be a really long video because there like it might be me going scene by scene by scene of how much I just it missed the ball. It really truly did. It really dropped. You have $1 million mansion, but you have no freeze dryers. The solar, there wasn't even enough solar to run shit. There was definitely not enough panels unless he had hidden acres with panels everywhere. It definitely wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough. They put so much thought into this giant and I'll call it the fucking Disney castle house that you didn't get to see what it really could have been. Now, for instance, when you go to Goodbye World is one of my favorite movies. Goodbye World, he has a lot of solar. They're growing their own food. They're working on their garden. They're talking about their food storage. Their food storage isn't enough. It was only enough for their family of 3, but for instance, he has, his medicine in the refrigerator and that is a pivotal moment in that movie is that they kicked out somebody out of their group. The group a member ran away and went and told people and they showed up and they wanted their supplies. Goodbye World definitely, yeah. Homestead definitely made it seem like only the rich, only the ones who have all the money would be able to survive. And they lacked so many critical skills. So many critical skills. While you had Goodbye World that every person a lot of people did lack skills. But they were learning. They were talking about rationing food right off that the garden would be enough to get them through, but then they would need to go there. The flaw in Goodbye World is the fact that he was friends with the farmer below him. They did do produce exchanges and milk exchanges. She had more animals. He didn't have any animals. He grew more than she grew. When they needed antibiotics as a friend, I would have given them. I would have kept that relationship very close. Very, very close. Do you think each person bought into the mountain house like a timeshare? I don't know. I'm not sure. Hold on, I have a text coming in. Maybe they bought a timeshare into it. I would not sell timeshares into my property. I would not. Homesteading is hard work. It's not for the faint. Growing and preserving your own food is not for the faint. Taking care of your own animals, that's not for the faint. Um, but is there people that I am friends with that have different skills sets than I do? Yeah. Same skill sets? Yeah. It makes it easier to run, but like how are they going to house all those people? How are they going to house all of that? How are they going to keep? And that is something we're going to see now. We're going to see it now. I mean, grocery prices keep going up. Cost of food. People are really going to struggle. They're going to struggle. This year is going to be the year. I mean, for the last 5, not going to lie, Biden grocery prices were extreme. Trump more extreme now. Things you can prep, you can prep, and then you use your preps when things get bad. That's the purpose of your preps. Um, the cost is going up. It's going up exponentially. Like it is very, very high. And people don't realize that if you're not starting your garden and your seeds now, you're fucked. You need to start them now. You need to start this month. You need to start growing some of your own food to offset some of those costs because it could go up. Things could get harder. Things were hard with both administrations. The government's bad. You are the ants, you're the workers. You pay the rich. So if you want to be self-dependent and not self-sufficient, self-dependent on a system, on a box store system, keep doing it. Yep, salt. Salt's actually a video coming up. That's actually one I've been doing a lot on salt and the value of salt. A lot of people have lost those very essential skills to get you by. Like welding, yep. Not going for a degree, but learning are different things. Yep. Yep. Take those classes. There's so many classes out there you can take. Mm-hmm. Yep. One thing for us, we go through bone broth like crazy here. And we are always cooking more and more bone broth because not only do we use it for soups and the nutrient value of it, but my animals do. When I say that I prep for my dogs, I actually pour broth into their food almost, I think, once a day, every day. I want them to have those like essential nutrients. And you can make a whole lot of broth from a whole lot of little of bones. Most people, like, how many people in here have just thrown out the carcass to a chicken? Just thrown it away instead of using the bones. I feel like on YouTube, I have more of the preppers who are like, yes, no, I use everything. I use everything to my fullest availability. But I feel like on TikTok, a lot of people they don't. They don't use their bones. They don't know how to do that. Oh yeah, ramen. Oh yeah, ramen. But and that is one of the reasons why I mean, this is like my first big live on YouTube since December. The reason I left, like the reason, and I say it like I've already left. I haven't left TikTok yet, but I am. I'll still make videos there, but nothing in depth. Now that I've seen that people are using that information to create bug out bags to show up and cause civil chaos and all these things, like most of the people over here, when you come to YouTube, you're wanting to learn. I'm telling you how many videos I watch a night because there's something I might not know the best. I might not know that subject. We have a side by side and we have a Jeep. So we have two off-roading vehicles. And then we have the truck. The truck could off-road, but the side by side and our four-wheelers, like we own four-wheelers too. And my Jeep, they can make it a lot further than others. Yeah, water glass eggs last for 9 months. Nice. Yep. I used to do a lot of water glassing. I'm gonna be honest, I have not done water glassing in years. Years, but that's because now I have a freeze dryer. I pickle eggs, like, that's, like, the boys' favorite thing. They love to open up some pickled eggs and eat them during a football game. That's, like, one of their favorite things. I'm personally looking at getting some quail, um, as soon as we can get the house started, the cabin started, because it's not gonna be a house, like, it's gonna be just a small house that can be completely sustainable off of solar. um, been learning, like, reading for about 4 months now, reading and practicing creating my own circuit board, for windmills. Not a lot of people do that, but I do know I get wind out at the property, so if there's not solar, I wanna have power a different way, and not like, yes, I have the books and I can put together one and I put them together by reading right there, but I've been trying to memorize it where if I didn't look at the book, I knew exactly what I was doing. It's a skill I don't possess. It's not a skill that I know off the top of my hands. Is it a skill that I have in other books over here that I can pull up and put it together? Yes, but it's not something that not like canning where I'm like, "Oh yeah, that one's going to be 90 minutes. Oh, that one's going to be 120 minutes." It's not the same. It's not the same. And so trying to learn a new skill is essential. It's essential for all preppers. Okay, so you like my TikTok because the clips make it not seem overwhelming? Okay. So I'll keep doing clips. I just feel like there's so much information um that's lacking in a minute and 1 second video. I really do struggle with that because especially like I see a lot of preppers doing like water preservation and I have so many videos on it, but all of them are longer form. They're all like 2 3 minute videos and TikTok just doesn't push them out. Because there is things that you need to know with water purification and water filtration that you just can't spit it out in 1 minute and 1 second. While here on YouTube, I can make 9 minutes and it's very cut and dry and it's one subject and it stays really right there. Oh, I love that you follow me on both. I love TikTok. I just don't like the fact that we are really going into civil unrest. Like we truly are. Like I am telling you right now, friends that I have been friends with for years, friends that I value on that app, the most hateful, excuse me, the most hateful, heinous word videos, literally threatening people because they might not think the same way. That means our friendship never mattered. I don't want to be there. I've never thought about unfriending people because of like what they're pushing out. Yeah, use TikTok to drive to the YouTube. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, TikTok, Discord, the fact that we haven't been censored at all, like there hasn't been anything that's like red flag, you're in trouble, you can't talk about this. I really like that. Um Oh, yeah, exactly. So Robert says, "I like to learn from army folks that like to ruck." I love a good ruck. My husband loves a good ruck. And that's one reason, like, with all these bug out bags, I'm like, all those gadgets are ounces. Ounces equal pounds, and pounds equals pain. And some people are like, "No, you need to add more to your kid's bag." And I'm like, I ain't putting shit in my kid's bag. My kid's bag is very basic and it is for survival and survival only. I don't want to be putting those ounces on my kid's back. I know my 8-year-old is going to take that backpack off in an hour. Well, me and my husband, we can pack a lot more. And the chances that we're going to have to pack one of our kids is even higher. Yeah, people don't realize that algorithms push certain topics. So here, I'm going to be very honest. I'll be really honest with you, Sigma. So this is kind of where my heart feels very heavy. I'm going to take a sip of my drink really quick before I go into it. And a little nicotine to help cure what I'm about to say. So I've been doing social media for 4 years. 4 years. I have been reported, had my account almost permanently banned. Barb of the Apocalypse, you guys, if you have not watched the Barb of the Apocalypse series that is on here, I put it into a playlist for you. It's just a hypothetical apocalyptic scenario where there is big mistakes that are made, things that are unrealistic on purpose. It's on purpose. It's to get your prepper brain thinking. It's on purpose, and it's got a little bit of a rom-com humor to it. It's really funny too. But and I've told you, I do not care who somebody votes for. I do not. I do not pay your taxes. It is not my business. But the amount of hate in 3 years that I have received because you're a prepper you're a prepper, you're a conservative prepper. You are a MAGA loving, you are teaching people how to prepare because you don't like Biden. Report. I am telling you right now, I have thousands of comments like that for years. For years, even though people don't know who I vote for. Don't know anything. They don't know anything about it, right? You talked about martial law. We hate you. I hope you don't exist anymore. I've had people straight up say this. Straight up say this. I got banned for 2 weeks on live because I said inflation's at an all-time high. Guess what? Trump's in office, and I'm going to say inflation just got a little bit higher. It's getting higher. You should still prepare. I have never wavered the politics from prepping. Never. Doesn't matter who the fuck is in office. Excuse my language. Oh, local prepper says, feels good, doesn't it? You won't be shut down here. You can look at this, right? I'm saying prices are going up with Trump. I'll have a bunch of people in here saying, you voted for this, yar, rah, 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 like all this craziness, right? Or you deserve this. I said, Biden, prices went up. You're the problem. You're the prepper. You're the conservative. We don't like you. We don't like you. And I'm like, what is me being conservative? I've also been liberal. I kind of lie between the two lines, and I don't trust the government no matter who's in office. Local prepper knows the ropes around here. Yep. I know. Pappy told me to come talk to you. I was like, I need to definitely. It's one of those things, right? So it's like no matter who was in office, I was prepping. But then all of a sudden now that there's another person in office, it's like the most hypocritical thing I've ever heard of. I was reported because I was prepping, even if Biden was in office or if he wasn't in office, it would not have fucking mattered. I was prepping when Trump was in office. I've recorded and documented and tried to teach people for years. Years. But now, because there's another president, well, I'm going to follow you even though I don't like you. My content never changed. It's never wavered. It's never wavered. No matter who's in office, you need to prep. No matter who you vote for, you need to prep. But now it's you voted a certain way. I've been called evil, even though I'm like, well, I'll teach you how. I have a good list on Discord, Helen. If you're not in the Discord, you should definitely join the Discord. Yeah, if people knew how everything worked behind closed doors, they would all be in shock. But now it's like the opposite. Like when I'm talking about prepping, they're like, now you're only prep because Trump's in office. And I'm like, how do I have years worth of content? Like 10,000 videos. YouTube, I only have 72 videos. I got like 6,000 over there on TikTok. Um, how? How are we that blind that we make those assumptions? Oh yeah, definitely news is. Hold on. My daughter was texting me. Yeah, you can post a Discord link in here. 46 watching, 31 thumbs up. Smash it. Yeah, smash that like if you like it in here. We were up to 100 people in here earlier. It was 99 for a bit. I was pretty shocked. You've been prepping since 2003. How many different property or parties? I prep. We don't have either Biden or Trump, right? And that is the hardest thing for people to understand is they don't they don't realize it yet. They haven't realized it. My grandpa was born in 1910. Think about how many different presidents have been around since 1910. Grow, preserve your own food, have a stash, make sure you have protection. We had meat chickens growing up. We had chickens. I've had chickens my entire life. And now, because of the cost of food, I'm looking at putting meat chickens on my property and just figuring out a way that the neighbors might not notice because it only takes 3 months to harvest them. But people don't realize that. This is the way I grew up. How many different politicians have there been? The only quote that my grandpa really loved, he loved Reagan's quote. If the government says they're here to help, they're not here. Ding, ding, ding. We don't trust the government. I don't trust the government. You shouldn't trust the government. Like you shouldn't trust the government. They're not going to look out for you. Do you realize that people right now, because of the threat of World War III, are buying they're buying the old Cold War bunkers that, and I'm not gonna lie, my grandpa was part of building a lot of those. Even at his own property, there's a bunker there. Anyways, um, people are buying them because the threat has always been there. Whether it's Russian propaganda or not, there's still a threat. You got the entire Britain is literally on top of an entire system of tunnels. Got a case of MREs each. Oh yeah, every time my husband goes to the range, oh, he takes home extra MRE cases every time. Preppers love bunkers. There's no denying that, right? We love them. Love them. And my grandpa, I would always ask him, I'm like, so do you think that we'll ever get nuked? And he goes, possibility. And I'm like, well, what do we do if that happens? And he goes, well, we just hope that we're not close enough to where it drops. We would sit around and talk about it. Like this was just like a normal conversation. What if there's no food available? I asked my granny, I said, what happens if we're too poor to go to the grocery store to get food? She goes, why would we go to the grocery store? We grow and preserve our own. Like these are the things that when I was little, this was embedded in my heart. And then finding a man that was going to like that. You guys know my last viral video hit 12 million views. It's me walking out with, my vest on and one of my gun cases, and it was just, to Freebird, right? The song, right? It kind of grasp, I don't always give my husband butterflies, but I give him high blood pressure. Can you imagine dating somebody like we both came back overseas and he was used to dating those girls that wanted to look like they were on Jersey Shore and the girl that could drink the most in the bar and then he met me and I'm drinking beer and I was like, "Nah, I got to plant a garden and I got to go back home and help my mom harvest all of this food and can it." And he's like, and I was like, "I'm from a little tiny town." He's like, "What kind of tiny town?" And I was like, I'll take you home to meet my parents, my mom and my stepdad. I was like, but it's a really small town. And we stopped in town, the other town, the bigger town. And I was like, you might want to have fuel in your car and stuff like that. We got a little ways to go out. And he's like, okay. And he's thinking small town. And I'm like, if you run out of gas, you're going to be walking at least 15 to 20 miles to the nearest gas station, nearest, like maybe 10 miles just to get cell phone service. So we get out in the middle of this town. And I remember the shell shock look. He goes, this town's in the middle of nowhere. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, this is your home? And it's a little modular home, little tiny house. And I was like, yeah, I got to go make sure I got to go check on the chickens and the turkeys. And he's like, you got turkeys? I was like, yeah, we got meat, chickens, turkeys. But my mom's probably pulling stuff out of the garden. I'm going to need to can that. But I'll take you inside. Do you want to grab some firewood before you go in? The culture shock, just the culture shock that he was just like, what? And I was like, our town's really close. We all know each other. We all get along, but there's no police. There's no fire departments. We have a little PO box, a little building out there with little keys in it. You know, there's like 233 people in this town. And he's like, what? And I was like, when it snows, it's my job to make sure that, I run the plow so kids can get out, so that the buses don't get stopped. Everybody has 4-wheel drive. And he could have at any time been like, dude, I am dating the most hick person I have ever met in my entire life. And he stuck around. And him and my mom were talking, and he's like, where did Crystal go? And I come flying by on a 4-wheeler, and I got a rifle strapped to my back. And I was like, we're going to go out. We got to go shoot some stuff. We got some coyotes over here. Somebody just called. And he's like, what? What? And at any time he could have dumped me. At any time. At any of these weird times, the first year of our marriage, and I was like, I need to have room for my garden, and I need to have room. And I remember him going, we should go buy meat at the grocery store. And I was like, that is disgusting. We are going to go to a local farmer. And he has been buying from a local farmer now we've been together 15 years. He definitely did not know what he was getting into. He knows he's also a man that can't tell me that there's too many mason jars in my house. That maybe my prepping is too much. It's too much. He doesn't say those things. He just embraces it. He also is a man who's never had to ask if he could purchase a gun. Because I believe you should own any of them that you want. It's hard to find people that match that same energy. Oh yeah, like most people are really, really fragile. Like I was a little fragile before my deployment. Like I was a little bit more sensitive. Um, but then I deployed with a bunch of Cav scouts, and they beat that shit out of me. Going overseas with a bunch of scouts, yeah, no, that doesn't exist anymore. My husband can't. The most he's gonna hurt my feelings is he's gonna say, me and the boys are gonna go out shooting, and you can come next time. Most of the time, it's me and my boys that are going out shooting, and then they come with. When he goes out, I'm like, "You're going out without me? Well, that's fucking rude. That's fucking rude." Um, Definitely not built the same. Get him on to buying a gun. Get him on to building his own gun. Once they start building their own gun, you're always going to be poor. You're always going to be broke. You're always going to be broke. And then start modding up your vehicles. Then you're going to be really broke. You're going to be real broke. But yeah, the funniest part about that video that went viral is people said, like right there, oh, she's wearing her husband's armor. And I was like, no, that's mine. Mine's better than his. Mine's a lot nicer. Right? You're going to be real poor. When you're prepping, do you prefer Mylar bags, mason jars? Okay, so for me, a lot of people like mason jars, okay? I don't. I don't, and I'll take you over and show you why, okay? let's see if I can move the camera setup. It's going to be a little hard because you guys are hardwired into my computer. But let me walk you guys over. Oh God, I'm dropping shit everywhere. Let me show you why the differences of why I do it the way I do. Okay, so some people like to store. We'll go with this dry one right here. Ooh, the lighting is oh, it's my lights. It's not you. Okay. So some people like to store in mason jars. I like to store dehydrated stuff in mason jars. The thing is those vacuum sealers, you're gonna break seals. That one's broken. This one I use always as an example. Some people do like to store their flour and stuff like that. This is a quart. That'd be a quart of flour. Now, let's look at a quart of rice. That's a quart of rice. If you see that tub behind me, if you guys go into my bin video, there's a whole lot of food in that bin. Well, I could be using this for meat or canning fresh fruit. That I feel is more of a value for my jars than dry goods. It's honestly a preference. A lot of people do like to store their dry goods in with their mason jars. I just think it's a waste of space, to be very fair and honest. I like wet for my jars. Yep, with canning, and dry with my Mylar. So like with my Mylar over here, this bin right here has probably, I'd say 70, maybe 70 pounds, roughly around that, of rice and beans just in there. Well, then like other stuff, like let's grab these two right here. So I have my own strawberries, and then I also go to a local farm and pick more. We eat strawberry jam like it's going out of style. We probably have gone through 20 jars just this year. We went through almost all 30 jars of apricots. This year we didn't even get any apricots, and they were from the previous year. And we have 1 jar left. But storing my wet foods, I prefer jars more for that. Oh yeah, this is rice. This one's heavy. This one actually has to get moved out to the property. This thing, I can't lift it. I can't lift this one. I know, and I like slide it around. Now, do I use like different things? Like we went over on the storage video. Once again, 5 gallons. 5 gallons is still going to be pretty heavy. You can move them around a little bit better than in the totes. But for instance, this one is a 6-gallon bucket. I don't know if people have seen a 6-gallon bucket. It's just a little bit bigger. It's just a little bit bigger than your little 5 gallons. Just a little bit bigger. But this is all wheat berries. And this thing, it's pretty heavy. Okay? That's 45 pounds. Just in its own. But you got all kinds of different ones. So like, gosh, I wish I could take you guys with me. Like on the mobile setup of it. I don't know. Does that show a little bit better? So you have, I'm going to move the mic closer to me. So you have your pasta sauces, and I even can up my cherry tomatoes. I'll throw them into things. I just don't want to waste them at the end of the season. There's a lot of bone broth back there, corn, carrots, pickles. On that bottom shelf behind that tripod, that's a whole shelf of meatloaf that's canned up. Peaches, we love peaches. We love our canned food, those canned varieties. How do you have advice for smaller scale like city life? I only stock up on the food that you and your family are going to eat, because this is rotational. This is all a rotational pantry. Yeah, that stuff up there is freeze dried. I test a lot of that stuff out for you guys, but this is all rotational. So we only preserve and store up on the food that our family will choose to eat. Look at all the blue. All the blue. Oh yeah, the blue. The blue is all over there. I'm like trying to figure out the best way. I'm trying to like, can I put you guys on the garbage can? Like, what can I do? Like, it's harder when you're set up to a computer. Like, you don't, that is one bummer part about YouTube compared to TikTok. I feel like for you to get any good quality, you have to be connected to a PC, which makes it a little bit with your camera setups. Unless local preppers got like a better advice on it, I feel like you're more stationary with YouTube. Three to 8 aluminum powder iron. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. As soon as I read that second line, I was like, yup. Perfectly legal. But yeah, I feel like there's a lot of areas that you guys can store up. Buckets are great because buckets can be stored in such a small area. Those buckets can fit right where the soil is. You see that there's soil inside and there's some vinegar on the ground right there. I can stack buckets there. I can stack buckets inside of closets in the back of the pantry, stuff like that. But for me growing my own food and stuff like that, I try to store up. So like my pasta sauces, if you guys don't see, I'm running low. Not a lot of you guys have noticed it because I always first in, first out. I start pulling stuff to the front. But where the cherry tomatoes is, there's only 3 jars. To the right of it, there's only 8 jars. And then to the next right, that one's more of a chunky marinara sauce. There's probably 6 jars left. I try to can up enough marinara and spaghetti sauce to make it an entire year for our family. If you guys notice the pasta up there, first in, first out, you guys are noticing that older stuff is moving out very quickly. And that new stuff that's on that other shelf where the blue bags are will get moved along going to that direction. I wish that there was like a better way to do this camera. I wish that there was a better way. Okay. You got to learn your grow zone too. Like, you got to learn your grow zone. I'm going to try to turn us back. I have a feeling that I've already jacked up the visual. Oh, yeah. I've kind of messed that up. Oh, it's all like tilted. I feel like that's a little bit better. Oh, and the mic's like totally the wrong direction. Do I have a how to can videos? I do on TikTok, G-dubs, but I'm going to be bringing them actually over here too. So just very basic food preservation, growing your own food. Seasonal canner. Not a lot of people realize that. Like during the winter, spring, those kind of things, that's when I'm canning stuff that I have excess of for my freezer, those kind of things. But most of the time when I am canning, it's coming out of my garden. So you'll see a lot of gardening and canning videos during the summer as everything goes to harvest because I'm not going to go to the store and buy a bunch of tomatoes to can. I'd rather grow my own. But I have older videos. Would you guys be interested in, because when TikTok went down, I downloaded all my old canning videos. Would you guys be interested in me making a collaborative long video of just different canning recipes, like a 10-minute video or a 5-minute video, and just me throwing those clips in? Because they are like 1-minute clips where it's like each step that leads up to the end. Would that be something you would be interested in, G-dubs? I'm just curious on that. It wouldn't be full long form like a YouTube video where I'm like showing you how I break it down. It's more in the how do I say it? TikTok format where it's just quick. Yes, do it, local prepper. Everything is content on YouTube. Okay. So then maybe I'll do that because I downloaded all 6,000 of my videos from YouTube or from TikTok. And I'm only at like 74 videos over here and turn them into shorts. How long can a short be on YouTube? I know YouTube shorts don't count towards your watch time, right? It's crazy because I can hit 4,000 watch hours on one video every day on TikTok, but it's struggling. I'm struggling on this app. 3 minutes, 1 to 3 minutes. Okay. Most of the work is already done. Is there a bad thing with YouTube of uploading a ton in one day or no? But no one died after eating? Was it good? Was it good? Because canned meat is excellent. Okay, you emailed me and we'll talk. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, I have some people I want to introduce you to, local prepper. I think you would like them. Some of them are really cool. I know some people at Patriot TV, and I think you I think it would be fun for us to do an interview there together. Like I've done Patriot TV twice now, and I'm friends with someone who has their own show, and I think you would really like it. Like I'm always trying to help. I mean, TikTok is amazing for my career. Like, I mean, it helped a ton, but I think local prepper caught my heart in this. I really think I like YouTube a lot more. Who in here likes YouTube more? I feel like at first when I came, I felt like it was really disconnected, that we weren't it wasn't the same as what TikTok was. It wasn't that interactive. Like there is a little bit of a delay between the chat. No, Chris, you didn't miss it. You didn't miss the live. I feel like that it definitely I think it definitely is I like it. You know exactly why I left TikTok. It's bad. It's really bad. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be very, very blunt. People who I've gone to bat for when they've been doxxed, like, all kinds of stuff, like, are sending out some serious, like, civil unrest, discontent, hate people. It's bad, and I'm like, "Dude, if" I'm like, "You can" okay, let's do conspiracy theory on this, okay? Maybe they weren't fucking wrong on TikTok. I love TikTok, but maybe they weren't wrong. Maybe TikTok is the perfect app to take down a country. Because first of all, it was like the land of the misfit toys, right? Like everyone came in, they were having a good time, they were bored during the pandemic. It was a good, it was a good, it was a good place to congregate and start building that, and you kind of fall into it. Did someone say conspiracy theory? We're here for it. And ByteDance is like, "Oh, yeah, let's keep giving them more what they want. It's that algorithm, we're just gonna keep pulling them, and we're gonna keep doing this." And all of a sudden, it's not creating Chinese spies. They're not creating Chinese spies with our youth. They're creating homegrown freaking terrorists. Like, I cannot like, as a content creator, some of the videos that these guys have made, I know I would be nannered. I don't even have to say nannered on here. I can speak in full fucking sentences now. I would be banned. I would be banned. Straight up banned. It's so radical. It's so extreme. And then they were like, "Oh, politics. Ooh." And it's everywhere. It's everywhere. In France even. It's everywhere. It's in Canada. It's everyone. We can talk like fucking grown-ups in here, right? Everyone is so insane. I'm sorry. But y'all know if I did like I've already done 2 different TV shows. Y'all know if I showed up on some TV show out on my property, straight up all tacked out, my children are all tacked out, you know that the media would run with that, right? Like, she's a fucking prepper. Like, they would be insane on that. And I don't even present myself that way. I try to break it down very small, minute, like, okay, let's talk about, I can talk like a normal person. This is so nice. It's so nice. Oh my God. I'm not scared. I'm not like, oh, am I gonna get flagged today? Am I gonna get flagged? But it's such a radical movement. And all of a sudden, like, they wanted to ban it, right? And they're like, "Oh, you're gonna take our app away? Well, we're gonna take it away for 24 hours." And then all the engineers are like, "Let's pit them all against each other. Liberals are gonna show up on conservative talk. Conservative talk is gonna show up on liberal talk. You hate each other for you." Elon Musk, we're going to just make sure anything with Elon Musk is going to be viral. We're going to get all the feelings. Protest, anti-ICE, fight ICE, new cute boots, build the wall. Like, we're going to throw it all at the same time. They took down the app for 24 hours and it came back and it is a fucking dumpster fire now. It is not the TikTok I once knew. Oh God. And even that TikTok, I knew how to like tread the lines very like clearly and like, it is straight up. China doesn't have to come. ByteDance doesn't have to worry. We'll just make everybody hate each other even more. We'll report on that fire and we'll just light that fire right next to a forest and just watch it burn. That is what is happening. And it's been like this for weeks. I have a lot of moderators in here that came from TikTok. It has been just, and I was like, isn't that the perfect weapon? Why would China need to come into our soil? Why would they need to even touch on American ground? All they have to do is fucking pit each other against each other. They could do anything they wanted. Russia could do anything they wanted. Iran could do anything they want. I'm dead serious on this. I legit, like, I was talking about that last night. TikTok came back attached to my Facebook. I left Facebook because I didn't want to be a part of those people. And I say those people, I mean it. Those people. I didn't want to be a part of any of it because they're all crazy. All of it's crazy. And now it doesn't seem so bad building a compound out on the acreage and we're talking about removing our kids. The political violence is so bad that we have 12-year-olds fighting each other over race, religion. 12-year-olds. 12-year-olds. What your parents are watching and talking about in your home is bleeding into your children and they're now becoming, so now we want to pull our kids and homeschool them. We want to pull them. They go to a semi-private school that's supposed to be like one of the strictest schools around. And we're nervous. People are hostile everywhere you go. You can't drive down a road. People are so irritated. Easy to propagate conspiracies in 1-minute clips. Yeah. Oh, I agree. It has turned into an absolute dumpster fire. A dumpster fire. What do you do with it? What do you do? We've looked at it. We'll move the house off grid. We'll rent this one out. We'll rent it out. People, the neighbors across the street are renting their house out for $4,000, $3,500 a month. I'll take that extra $1,500 every month. I'll rent out this house. I'll charge an inflation. Start your planting. Groceries are only going to get more expensive. I never said they would get cheaper. Now, whether you agree or you disagree, I think the tariffs are smart. The reason I think they're smart is not the same as what everybody else thinks. I think it's going to make our country have to rely on itself. I think it's going to make you appreciate the sawmill. We buy from a local sawmill here where they cut their own and they saw it down. It's going to make you appreciate things more. But once again, I'm about that self-sufficiency. But am I like ordering a shit ton of stuff that I know that needs to be imported? Yeah. Yep. Already on that, still all kinds of stuff like that. Oh, the service industry? Oh, yeah, they're horrible. They're horrible, horrible. I can agree with that 100%. It is horrible. People are awful to each other. Mom and pop diners, they treat them horribly. Ace of spades. Hi, Chris. All these new names, I'm like, I don't know who anybody is, but I think it's good. I think it's gonna be a good thing. I think this transition over to YouTube will be a good thing. Maybe I will get to uploading a ton of content. I like my longer form content, but I like recording it, but I think I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good transition because in my head, the conspiracy theory is TikTok is now it got banned and they came back and they decided that they were gonna tear this country down from the inside out. Nobody's worried about a TikTok ban. You haven't even heard us talk about a TikTok ban. Now it's just time to destroy it from the inside out. Who's gonna stop them? Who's gonna stop them? I don't think anybody's gonna stop them. People calling each other names. Teresa, that's tree. Honestly, if TikTok falls, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with walking away from 230,000 followers. I'm totally okay with that. I don't want my bug out bag videos being used for excuse my language, I don't care who you vote for, but I'm gonna actually quote the prepper. I'm gonna quote the new content page that has 5 videos. Um, Liberal prepper, and there's another one, and they're talking about your bug out bag should be going to protests. You didn't know I was on. Mike, I'm kinda quitting TikTok. I think I put in my resignation letter and I'm abandoning ship. I'm jumping ships. I said I would go down with the storm, but dude, I saw people using my bug out videos and then talking about taking those into like a raid, like to go fight ice. Where did you learn how to make your bug out video? I went to Charmingly Frugal. She voted for the devil, but we're going to use this bag to fight ice. Fight ice? Who's doing that? She's moving on up. Fighting ice. Creators I've stood by that said, "I don't care what you vote for. I don't care who you stand for. Like, I don't care about any of it." And I said, "Cool. I don't care what you vote for either. And I got your back. You're my friend." Straight up said that if they caught my MAGA butt outside, they would fight. Like, straight up. These are the videos, like wanting a fight. Oh, you can't, it's crazy. Chris goes, time to go back to Red Note. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, and I'm like, well, we don't want civil unrest. We prep for civil unrest. Like if people show up, I'm like ready to fight, but I'm not going to go seek the fight. Once again, your battle will only last as long as your ammunition. I know some of y'all only own 100 rounds. Wow, it's nice to talk like an adult. I know if the last Alamo stand happened on my property, I know I have tens of thousands of rounds. The battle only lasts as long as your ammunition is there. So people wanting to use my bug out bags to encourage violence, we don't look for the violence. If the violence shows up, they show up. Rookie numbers got to bump those up, right? I know. My ears. Oh, did I yell really loud? I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm getting used to this. But the fight only lasts as long as your ammunition lasts. It's only going to last. So why are people wanting to go like create bug out bags and go seek violence? Preppers don't care. Oh, no, the grown-up talk. "Oh, no, she said ammunition and guns." Seed binder, how do you decide what seeds you wanted to implement? So I only grow for what's in my grow area. I will eat. And so if you're using a smaller area, like look up first. I don't know where you're from. You can pick different things. Tomatoes grow relatively everywhere really easily, except for Alaska. You're gonna want to get like a greenhouse kind of cover over them, whether it's a tarp or anything, kind of to conserve that heat in. On the shelf, it's not perfect here, but I'm sure glad I don't live in the US. I'm just ready to start seeing cities burn. Like that's where I think it is. 7A. So look up the food that you eat that you want to try to grow. Greens you can grow inside. Lettuces you can grow inside really easily. Herbs are easy to grow inside. I recommend growing all those inside your windows. So then you have herbs and stuff like that all year round. Oh my God, the autofocus is wild right now. Um, and then for your outdoor porch and stuff like that. So I'm in 6 and I don't take my tomatoes outside until I would start growing your tomatoes now. Um, I don't take them outside until around June. They recommend May. The soil here is still below 55 degrees, which is going to cut the yielding down on my tomatoes. So I wait until about 60 degrees to plant those things out. Tomatoes are some of the most fickle, whiny little bitches you'll ever meet. It's too hot, it's too cold, it's too bright, it's too sunny, it's too this. They're all over the place, but once you grow successful in tomatoes, you'll do really well in everything else. Oh, I love that tree. The bolt seats they're trying to sell. Oh, the seed vaults? Yeah, I have a lot of different seed vaults. Mine aren't from TikTok shop. I've used a seed vault from Amazon and it worked just fine. I even busted them. Hello. These ones are like little 10-year. These are just like Wise Company. You can find different. You'll find a ton of seed vaults everywhere. Ooh, you got a Vesta stove? Yes. We have a love-hate relationship every year getting tomatoes going. Yeah, they're emotional. They're emotional. That's it. That's all it is. They're emotional. Once you master them, like I'll grow 40 plants a year. Once you get that down, other things like the newest thing I was learning to grow was eggplants. I like eggplant. I never thought I would. My mom grew eggplant and I love to throw it into my marinaras. I like to grill it up. I love beets, fresh beets. You know why I like beets? Because I grew up with a bunch of preppers that like canned beets. They're disgusting. Just so you're all aware, canned beets are disgusting. Disgusting. You can't make me eat them. I grew up on them. You can't make me eat them. I love fresh beets. I will grow beets all year. I love beets. I don't even think eggplant really has a taste. It's kind of squashy. All right, Elizabeth, we'll see you soon. Um, but beets, I'll grow them fresh and then I'll saute them up. I love beets. I love pickled beets. But you will never catch me eating canned beets. Canned beets and canned spinach are the devil. They are. They are absolutely the devil. I don't like them. I don't. You grow up poor enough, that's all you eat. I just don't like them. I don't. Fresh, I'll eat all the time. So those are some of those root vegetables. Carrots, I grow a ton of carrots. I don't grow enough carrots. I'm hoping on the property. I mean, 70, I mean, I'm gonna be really real with you guys. It's like 75 acres. Okay, we're pretty close to 80. It's a nice parcel of land. Okay, it's a nice. Okay, it's well over 70 acres. I'm looking at putting up a steel greenhouse. Um, I've been looking at a few. I saw one on one of these sites. They're expensive, but it's large and it's large enough to grow fresh all year. So the issue is now making sure that I have the water. So that's the biggest thing, is making sure that we get a water well drilled as soon as possible. And then from there on, then adding animals, making sure the animals are fed and watered out there, and having also a garden. The garden and the orchard could be a little bit like a once a week checkup. As long as I'm using solar and drip lines, I think I will be comfortable. You've only pickled vegetables so far. I think they will be mushy when canned. Oh, fermented. You've only fermented? My veggies aren't mushy. Do you want me to open a can of peaches so you can see? They're not mushy. I love canning. I love them. Now, if you cook them too long, yeah, they'll get mushy. You gotta can them right at the peak of nutrition. I know a guy that can check on stuff for you out here. Yeah, so like canned peaches, not mushy. I try to get them when they're right before they're gonna be too ripe. So right when the peaches are firm, but they're ripe, but they're firm. They're not soft and soggy. That's how I can prevent my food from being mushy. I don't want it to be a mush. Um, my carrots, they're soft, but they're not mushy. My corn isn't mushy. All right, Helen, we will see you later. Yeah, if you have more questions, come back in and ask. I definitely think I'm gonna go record a couple videos. I think definitely Homestead, and then just uploading. I guess like maybe I just like, I don't know, explode all of the content I have saved in my phone. Like 6,000 damn videos, man. I feel like they don't always like make the. You guys, we haven't had one hate comment in here today. I feel like I'm left out. Somebody say something mean. My lives do, I believe lives do count towards view hours. I haven't been trolled today. So I don't even know what to do with myself. I'm reading local preppers message. Hoarder, Kayla's like, "You hoarder." I was gonna say it's too kind in here. It's too kind. I feel like, yeah, like I need you guys to yell at me or something. You dirty prepper. You dirty bag of prepping. I don't know what to do with it. Like I don't know what to do with it. It's so fucking nice here. There ain't no roaches or nothing in here. Like, is this how it always is? I'm not famous. We don't use the famous word, okay? I'm well known. I'm well known. I'm popular. Not on YouTube yet. I'm nobody on YouTube, except for I was on Canadian Preppers page. So let's say, so he posted the video. He kind of ragged on me, and then he gave me a compliment afterwards because he undoubtedly knows how organized I am in prepping. And he's my friend, and he is great. His content is phenomenal, phenomenal. But he did rag on me. Say so on TikTok, he posted it. TikTok, everyone was like, "Ah, war! We're gonna go defend her." But on YouTube, y'all act like there ain't no prepper out there with boobs. I am straight up like 400 comments talking about my rack. Now I'm like conscious, like I'm like oversized wearing. I weigh 130 pounds and I am wearing like the largest sweatshirts ever known 'Cause I, like, legit was like, "Oh, YouTube's a wild jungle. I don't know if I should go there." I straight up was like, "This is interesting. What do I do with this? How's my merch coming?" Oh, I suck I don't even know where to get merch. Do you purchase a lot of veggies from freeze-dry wholesalers? Yeah, the veggies that I don't freeze-dry myself. So, here's the deal, tomatoes take a really long time to truly get all the moisture out, like 99.99%. And I don't wanna risk them going bad, so I can all my tomatoes, and then I order freeze-dried, like, salsas and stuff like that for fun. I still freeze-dry my own, they just take longer. It's more electricity I gotta output. Yeah. But, like, I just picked up some freeze-dried. I can go grab some of this stuff. Clappers, the Wild Wild West? Yeah. Y'all, it was funny. Like, I mean, it was funny. I'm dressed a little homeless today, but oh, thank God I'm not gonna get a bullying. Like, I'll just show you some of the stuff like that I've ordered. I mean, I have my own freeze-dried food right over here, but somebody had just asked. I think Tree was asking. I don't have time to always have my freeze dry going because it's so loud. It's actually to the point that we are looking at putting the freeze dryer in a shed and wiring power out to it because it's so loud because I don't like it with YouTube and TikTok. But like freeze dried eggs, my girls aren't laying as many, so I bought as many as I could. I knew there was going to be an egg shortage. Freeze dried smoked brisket, I want it. I got it. I want it. I got it. You know what I mean? But somebody, Tree had asked, freeze dried sliced carrots. They had a sale going on. It was like a month ago, and it was like buy 3 veggies, get 3 free. So I bought a shit ton of veggies because I wasn't going to run my own freeze dryer. Freeze dried mac and cheese. This is not for me. This has nothing to do with me. This is all my 8-year-old son. My son loves mac and cheese and noodles and pasta. And if you guys did not know this company, because I do list it, and if you use the promo code Charmingly Frugal, you save a ton of money. Y'all want to know what food is in Zuckerberg's shit? It's this company. It's this company. Just so y'all know. They ain't wise over there, okay? Ain't nobody want mushy soup 365 days for the rest of their life. Just saying. Just saying. And I save you a ton of money. And it's really good food. You grow yours in a raised bed. I don't know if I want to. Pappy, you keep telling me to go to Clapper. Am I allowed to say that online or am I going to get in trouble? Like, am I going to be in trouble on here? Is there anything I can't say on here? I might need an alphabet guide. Is there anything I can't say? Because I'm a little nervous. A little nervous. Wait, hold up. Michael Files. Just another liberal who can't find a man and now you have to act like a You're a fucking idiot. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold on. Say it again and say it with your chest. Be big boy right now. Be big boy. Don't be a little baby back. Don't be a little baby back. Uh-uh. No. No, 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 no. You don't get to talk to me like that. Second of all, married. Been married for 15 years. Met my husband while we were deployed in Iraq. Served 8 years, and I guarantee I can outruck you, out hike you. I could probably do more push-ups than you. I could probably run faster than you. So there we go. But only a real man knows that they're not a keyboard warrior. Yeah. Yeah. That's wild. Here we go. You're gonna go back and talk to your mom? I did. I said it was too quiet in here. I said, that was like now this feels like a normal live. Now this feels like a normal live. Right. Big brave. Big brave and then big quiet. You're a big my first YouTube troll, how precious. Can we keep him? Can we name him Fluffy? We'll name him Fluffy. Michael, your name's gonna be Fluffy from now on. That's how I'm gonna refer to you. And when you come into the chat, I'm gonna go, My Little Pony. You just been told. Mm. I've been told. What'd you tell me? I'm a liberal prepper? Right. Right. It's okay. Should we like order like a little My Little Pony and we'll put it right here and we'll put Mike's name on it. I can call you Mike, right? Right. Right. Not that I've been on TV shows and all over the news. Oh, you're right. You're right. Just because this account's new, you're gonna be big and intimidating. Ooh, scared. Scary bad man. I hear my chickens. LP's gonna tell you not to say. I don't know. What does scream? What it I'm just curious. To make such a pre-assumption judgment on a person, like, what is it? I mean, you can't see that I'm tatted everywhere. Is it the camo? Is it the hoodie? I'm very curious. What is it? Is it the nose ring? That one. That one, maybe? Maybe? The fact that you're looking for a man when you've been married for 15 years? It's the chair. It's the chair. I like the color pink, okay? I do. I do like the color pink. It's comfy. And it was a gift. What is it? Pink chair? Is it the pink chair? Well, sure as shit. It might be. I'm trying to think. And if you think that anybody can accumulate what I have done in 1 year, because Trump bad man, isn't that the truth though, local prepper? I feel like that's the truth with like 99% of people. I feel like that is like a constant thing. Like I've talked about that a lot on podcasts, like where somebody's like, "You're a woman, I can't take advice from you for prepping, blah blah blah." And my husband, he'll like chime in and he's like, "That girl can outruck almost any man that I know." And my husband's airborne. My husband's attached with SF. I have done my silver spur ride and my gold spur ride. I have both spurs from the Cab Scouts. And women aren't supposed to be scouts. Okay. I don't claim that I was a scout on any level whatsoever. One you get for your deployment and one you get for an actual spur ride. And I'm telling you right now, not a lot of people like to ruck. Not a lot of people can do it. And favorite color is got his attention. Maybe it's the pink. I don't know. Maybe some people didn't grow up the same way I did. That's fine. But most of these guys, and it's the same type. You see it over and over. This is your Bugout bag. Blah 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 blah. Or they're. I'm telling you right now, I can't stand gadget preppers. There's some gadgets out there that I can like stand with, but like basic level survival skills, you don't need everything. Chris is now trolling. Doomsday Queen on YouTube must be screaming fishing relationships. Right. Maybe that was it, Chris. Maybe. Keyboard commandos buying foolish. Oh well, get back to the point. Yeah, I agree. I feel like there's a few. I just really local prepper, I just experienced my first prepper hater um on TikTok, and it was a guy, and he told me I should wear a bonnet. That I should wear bonnets, and I thought that was pretty wild. I was like, "Okay, we're going back 200 years? All right. Okay. All right." Oh, Trent is over there doing an investigation. Trent is hosting like a CSI investigation. Troll them trolls. The tactical preppers. Yeah. Yeah, it's like everyone. They're like, hold on, my links in my TikTok shop right here with this stand alone. This stand is gonna get you through the apocalypse. It comes with so many different things. You plug it in, then you're gonna get a fill in your radio, and you're gonna survive the apocalypse. Survive the EMPs. Stop. Stop. I feel like it's like a bad episode, a bad what was the TV show we all used to watch as kids? It's like they would play ads all night long. What is it? QVC? Is it QVC? Yeah, Trent's over there totally investigating. QVC, where you'd like scroll at night and it'd be like for $5.99, you have your dish Dawn soap. Your dish Dawn soap. This one is a knockoff brand, but this is illustrious on there. I feel like that's what half of TikTok turned into. Everything's got to have a link. It's got to be a TikTok shop. TikTok shop. TikTok shop. I'm telling you, the only company I like to work with from TikTok shop when I was on there was BattleBox. BattleBox is on here. They got like 2 million followers. I'm friends with them. I like them. BattleBox, great, great, great gear. But everything else on TikTok shop, most of it is junk. You looked at the bonnet was about yeah, Bonnet Betty was created because somebody said I should wear a bonnet. So I figured I could still make money and teach people how to prep with a bonnet and a little my house on the prairie dress. And guess what? For them dissing on me, I made like $1,000. Kudos to them. It's super booty show now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what it was. Dubs, Bonnet Betty, Margaret, Bonnet Betty. Oh yeah. You guys know that Doomsday Queen is what the New York Post wrote? So, Charmingly Frugal was interviewed, and the New York Post is like, "Hey, we want to do an article on you." And I was like, "Cool." And they're like, "What are you prepping for?" And I was like, "Anywhere from job loss to World War III." And they went on a whole tangent. Y'all know what New York Post likes to write about. Okay, y'all already know. I went in between their little fingertips, and they wrote like a whole expose, right? And then they were like, "She's the queen of doomsday, prepping for World War III. Will her children be affected by it?" And I was like, you know what? That sounds like a really great fucking YouTube name. Doomsday Queen it is. I will take it. Any diss I get, I'm gonna straight up use it to make money. It's the only thing I ever teach you in life besides prepping. Whatever they have to say about you, make it so much more fun. Make it so much more fun because then now it's recognized on all different platforms. Thanks, New York Post. I appreciated the name. It was definitely a cool little rebranding. It's pretty funny though. It's pretty funny. Anybody you guys ever do anything like that? You take a name that they give you because they don't like you and you use it to start absolute utter chaos? Somebody says wear a bonnet. We created Bonnet Betty and Margaret and they're going to make money and I'm going to giggle the entire time. Don't worry. Because it was all about water preservation. She's going to have a little metal pail and she's going to go fetch some fucking water. Excuse my language. She's going to go fetch some water, okay? I guess I shouldn't curse like a sailor on here. Where's Michael? Wait, Michael's still in here? No way. Michael's in here? I don't see him. Is he? How do you guys see? He either blocked you or privated your page. Come on, Michael, let's talk. It doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way. I don't think Trump is bad man scary. The bracelet. Glitter sparkling and I'm a dude, right? Oh, that's because I don't know how to make people mods. Give me a second. I'm working on it. I know, we come from like 250,000 people and then like into a dumpster fire. You can't have conversations with them. I know, but what part of me screams like that I'm liberal? Just I'm asking for a friend, Mike. It's nothing against you. Like, what is it? I don't know you, so I'm not going to judge you. But I'm just curious. Oh. Oh, is that what it is? Live chat. Ah, he's here. Okay, I went to live chat. If you're looking for a real man, I will give you my number. Well, first of all, I like service members, and by your first reaction, I don't know if you would be one. Second of all, I've been married for 15 years. And third of all, if you don't jump out of helicopters or planes for fun and give like, bro, what's up kind of look, it's going to be a hard pass. I'm sorry. And then third of all, if you can't outshoot me on a 300-meter target, that's a hard pass also. It's nothing against it, but we're cool now, Michael, so we can be friends. But definitely, no, I don't think he's a liberal, Chris. I really don't. He thought I was a liberal, so that's why I was saying I don't think Michael is a liberal, and I'm not going to be mean to him. I wouldn't be mean to him anyways, but um. Oh, I missed a lot in the chat. Holy cow. Well, I can see what Chris, I see what he's saying though. Like right now on TikTok, everyone is very It's very emotional over there. Everyone's like, "Well, Trump's the president now, so we're all becoming preppers." And then at the same time, they're, like, creating bags to go to protest. It's a little wild. Michael, you are making the conversation more fun. Thanks for, joining and having fun. I'm totally cool with it, like, it doesn't bother me. Y His trolling is actually kind of funny, I got my favorite trolls out there. But on TikTok, that's one of the reasons why I'm leaving is because everything is anti-Trump. It's like and prepping doesn't have to do with politics. It's not my business who you vote for, but like it's becoming so geared and problematic and very propagandized that you can't even get any prepping information out without somebody wanting to know who you voted for or what you stand for. And over there, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I took a lot of bans. I was always in timeout or I could get shadow banned. I had to fight tooth and nail. And it was because I was conservative. Thanks, Michael. And it was because I was conservative. And then now I'm seeing even more hate on that app. And they said things were going to change and things didn't change. So it's really one of those things that I don't think it matters at the end of the day. Prepping really, it's not my business who local prepper votes for. It's not his business who I vote for. We love the lifestyle of prepping, right? Same with Pappy in here. We love that lifestyle, that very prepper, very self-sufficient, doing the right thing, those kind of things. It was the MAGA hat that gave you away. No, you're totally good, Michael. You can't upset me. You can't really roast me either because I roast back. I'm a little spicy. It's the redhead. Gingers are spicy. We're just our own little spicy creature creation, leprechaun. I don't know, something. Uh, Do I get in trouble for saying leprechaun on YouTube? Actually kind of scared. You got your 4 chickens today? Let's go, Kelly. Can you get in trouble for saying leprechaun on here? Because you sure as hell can on TikTok. What kind did you pick up? What kind of birds did you pick up? You don't think that's a thing here? Okay, cool, cool. All right. I got in major trouble for it before. Like major trouble. Yeah. I said I was short and I combined it all together and it was censored for hate speech. For real. You have more chicks coming. Woohoo! Hey, you know what? That is a common thing. That is a common thing. Leprechaun, leprechaun, leprechaun. Hey, hey, we didn't get in trouble. Hey, we're doing things are great in here. I love YouTube. Oh, you got Black Sex Link? Nice. Um, there's a few things. He's got a really good channel. If you haven't given him a follow, he's got a really good channel. I actually follow his stuff. Not gonna lie, I totally listening and I was like, it seems a lot more peaceful over here. I kind of like it. And then Pappy has just done nothing but constantly encourage me. He's like, you just need to go do this. And I'm like, it doesn't mean anything. Leprechaun. But it was the context that I put it in. I said, I'm a short redhead leprechaun. And then I said, I have something hands. And I got bananaed. Or I got banned. I got banned. I got a big violation for that one. Did not know that was hate speech. It's not. But you never know whose feelings you might tiptoe on TikTok. TikTok is very sensitive. Very, very sensitive. Over here, it seems so chill. I love it here. Holy cow. This was the day that Charmingly Frugal died. Just kidding. You're wanting a roasting challenge? You can roast me. I'm 5 foot. I weigh 130 pounds. 5 foot, 130 pounds. I'm short. I'm short. My nose is crooked. I got it broke. Broke my nose. Um, I was born with really big lips. People like to get lip filler to have their lips look like mine. And then I have like a nice little Jim Carrey forehead on a regular basis. You can pretty much call me any name. It is. It is definitely very, very sensitive. Very, very sensitive over there. Very sensitive. Um, very sensitive. Sneaking out while the hubby is shopping for fishing stuff. Military makes us strong, so talking shit. I agree with that, Robert. Like I said before, I was like a little bit softer and more sensitive when I was around 18 years old. I'm 36. Um, but when I was 18, and then I deployed, I like went and lived with a bunch of Cab Scouts, and they beat the sensitivity out of me. Like, they'd say something, they'd be like, "You're a girl, you can't do this." I literally was, like, in the gym deadlifting. Like, I got big old broad shoulders. Lifted so many dang weights because of literally they were right. I was weaker. I was weak compared to them, and if something was to happen because we drove convoys, if we got blown up, there was a chance I wasn't gonna be able to haul my friend out. I wasn't gonna be able to help. And so I started straight up, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, straight up lifting every single day. I ran 7 miles a day, 7 to 12 miles a day. That was like my average every single day. Um, Taking in so much more protein. That's one of the reasons I'm huge about like protein, protein, protein. I needed to have that strength. I needed to have that muscle. Because it is true. Like I probably wouldn't have been able to do that. And so then I started having them test where they would collapse on the ground and I would drag them and do like it it was something I had to do to just improve myself. And so they beat out all the sensitivity in me. Um, because let me tell you, if you have a man that can outshoot you, he's going to talk shit to you all day. But if you're a girl and you can outshoot them, that's you get those grounds to be able to talk shit back. So, and that was one thing I was way better at than they were. So, we would go to the range and I follow a few big prepper groups here on YouTube. Nice. We would go out to the range, and let's say the boys, one of the guys gets 27 out of 40, and I could laugh at him. Okay. Then somebody gets like a 33 out of 40. And then in my head, it's instantly, I'm like, I need 39. I have to have a 39. I have to have that flex. I have to be able to talk shit. So I knew that they were all 6 foot. They look down on me every day. So that was probably the best experience of my life was deploying with a bunch of combat arms, Cav Scouts, because they did beat the sensitivity right out of me. And well done. Well done. They should have done that. They should have beat it out of me because when it comes to prepping, you can't be sensitive about everything. Your feelings can't get up in a bunch. You can't, somebody's gonna, what are they gonna do? Hurt me? Hurt my feelings? Um, That definitely was something that I needed to learn, and I learned that from experience, and I ain't gonna lie, when I was 19, there was a couple times that they made me cry. No filtered comments is great. Isn't that so great, Mike? There's no filtered comments. People can yell at you. Uh, I can say words and I haven't had a flag yet. I'm baffled. Like, I straight up am very excited about this. I can say gun, I can say ammunition, I can say rounds, I can say shit hits the fan. Like, I can say a whole lot of things right now. No filter comments is great, right? I agree. You could talk normal. You get comments for review? Oh, you can get comments for review. Okay. How bad do they gotta be? Like like scale 1 to 10, like, you've been around me on TikTok forever. Like, scale 1 to 10, like, how bad? How bad are comments? Like, for the wife and others, yep. Mhm. I have to cancel an appointment really quick. Yeah, you can't be sensitive. Comments for review. Homestead, you can still get a timeout. Don't time her out. What did she do? Okay, is there, like, rules on how many mods you can have on YouTube compared to TikTok? Is that, like, a rule? Is that, like, a thing? Do we know? I don't know. You have to learn some of the odd things to know. You know what? I'm envious of men. Men don't have a cycle. Like, I'm very envious. You know what? Damn it, Eve, why did you eat that apple? Like, you know, we could have you should have about 3 mods. Okay, so I have more than 3 mods. I have 30 mods on TikTok because that's like a rodeo over there. So do I have to fire people? Who's getting fired on the mod squad? Who's getting fired? Who's resigning? You don't even need mods like that? It's me? Oh, not me. Adapt and overcome. Mike's like, I over my does that affect, like, does your views I'm trying to think, does your like, if there's too many mods in the thing, does that affect the algorithm of how many people come into your chat or no? Just pick people that show up? Well, I started a cult, you know? Um, they all show up. They all drink the Kool-Aid. But I did start a cult. They're very, very dedicated. 365 days a year, they show up every day in and day out. Um, your cult is bigger? Okay, cool, cool, cool. That's cool. See, on TikTok, I sit between like 100 to 300 viewers per live. Here, this one's doing really, really well. I'm actually impressed. We hit up to 99 and then we stayed in like the 40, 50, 60 range. Now we've dwindled down. I'm sure if we like pick another topic, it will pop back up. Your cult is bigger. Okay. Yeah, they very dedicated. They eat, drink, and breathe. What are we ratting out? Thanks, Abigail. Who we Whoa, no cults. We can say cults over here, I think, JB. I don't think we get in trouble like TikTok. TikTok, we get in trouble. Um, I mean, it won't be like a cult, like, okay, larger number at lunch, but after supper and after supper. Okay. Daytime lives are random, but larger watchers are at supper. Okay. That makes sense. That's because I'm ignoring you now, Courtney. Homestead's being ignored. She's gonna be muted. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No cult here, just small group of close friends. Yeah, I'm almost curious, like all the rules. I want to know what the rules. We'll see. I'm trying to reschedule an appointment really quick. I'm just trying to send an email out because I leave. Ah, we're in dance competition season. Ugh. You want to know a real reason to prep? Dance comps. Dance comps. Yeah, it's way mellow in here. Like, oh, I did not expect YouTube to be as mellow as it is. Like, I really did not expect to see it this mellow. We can talk like an adult in here. Like, there's so much stuff I can show in here. I know I'm not allowed to show pew-pews on lives. That's what I heard. I heard Jesus, now I'm talking like a toddler again. Guns and ammunition on live. But I think I can show them in videos. Can we have blue raz Kool-Aid? You want to be let out? That's fine, Chris. Jump ship. No, I'm just kidding. We can have blue raz. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I can look away from the screen for 2 seconds and not miss 500 comments. It's harder for trolls because they can't just scroll in. This is more of a search. You're right, Pappy. You are so right in this. I feel like you are right. You're 100% right. Like, you you can't just scroll in. Like, they would have to actively seek out my page. I like it because there is a delay, so then I actually can see the comments. Now that I know that live chat is better than top chat, you live, you learn. You get new ones. They can't troll if they can't find you. Blue mouths for the win. Yeah, the whole blue. Yeah. Yeah, I can totally. I actually like it here. Y'all, say goodbye to TikTok. I straight up don't think I'm going back. I've really been on the fence. Like, I've been pushing and like loading up all my stuff over here. But I really think I like it here more. That I agree with Abigail. That is the harder part because with TikTok lives, I'm more mobile. Like, I'm always like very, very, very mobile. And over here, I don't get to be mobile. How are those watch hours? I have no idea. Watch hour, like, I don't really fully understand. They update it like once a week. I don't understand it. I'm learning. I'm at like 1,500 watch time hours, which isn't bad. Probably tree. Probably. As soon as I make partner over here, like that's my only income over on TikTok is I do get paid through TikTok live and um views. But I would rather come over to here. It's just that investment, like I'm making an investment in myself, but I have to make partner here. Oh, Kitty lives in here. Kitty, the cat lives in here. She's just investigating everything. She's always chilling. There's 2 of them. So I've done a YouTube live off my phone. The sound quality is really bad. It's really, really, really bad. So I'm on a webcam and then the mic and stuff like that. It just makes it harder to move around, to be more mobile. I'm sure I could set my computer up going that direction. Um, it's definitely like not walking around the same way as I used to. What are you doing? Are you making a bed on sterno cans? This is the strangest thing you've ever need. She's kneading a box. And it's hard. It's just filled with sterno cans. I appreciate you, Tree, and love you too. Pick up a Bluetooth mic for your phone. I do have a Bluetooth mic for my phone. I guess we could try it. I just felt like the quality wasn't there. I have mics right there, so I can show you guys. Let me grab it really quick. So I have a really cool mic setup that I really like. So I like this one. This one I've used on 2 different TV shows that I've been a guest speaker on, and I really like it because essentially it's kind of just like having like a AirPods, but it's a recharging unit itself in here. So this will hold a charge. And so when I need to rotate out, there we go. Like I have multiple mics. So I can either run one mic and then swap it, which I do like. But then it shows you like how long it's been charged for, which is really cool. Cats are dumb. Prepper cat and worm. Oh, you have Prepper cat? So that's cat. So you have a cat named Cat. I have a cat named Cat. You have Prepper cat and worm. I have Cat and Boo. Boo is scared of her own shadow, okay? The apocalypse happens, she might not make it, okay? Or she might make it and she just never comes out. She is like the ultimate bug in. Like she will bug in and sneak out. Oh, Prepper Cat is her name. Nice. But her name's just Cat. That one's just Cat. C-A-T. Cat. A cat named Cat. She doesn't really serve any other purpose than to be Cat. She'd survive the apocalypse. Boo would probably survive. She would bug in. She would be the hidden one. She would definitely not be coming out to visit anyone. You think you're caught up now? Yeah, it is nicer to be more mobile. I want to change this setup behind, so you guys like that's actually the area we're working on is installing a couple mounts and then turning that into the full streaming setup. But I just only had this up because Patriot TV wanted something in the background. I don't even think I designed that well. That was like random on a live. I think I want to put up like a board. I'm not sure. I don't know. I haven't decided. I really don't like the camera refocusing constantly. You tried using your Bluetooth mic in your life. At last ended up throwing it across the floor. Oh, okay. I like my mics. I feel like I got some good mics. All right. So, any other advice you got? I think I like YouTube more. Does being live count towards your watch hours? Truck full of canned goods headed to the house. Nice. I have to go grocery shopping and do some prepping because here our grocery prices are skyrocketing, and so I'm just gonna go hit them up before they go up any further. I mean, we have a ton of stuff prepped here, but just to go grab a little bit more. I was just about to ask that or rewatching lives. I don't know. A TV you could use as a monitor and type stuff so everyone can see it up. I don't know if I want anything behind me. I probably would use a green screen. I do use a lot of different streaming stuff. Like I have like Streamlabs and stuff. I just haven't set it up through here yet. I feel like Streamlabs you can do that. YouTube provides no instantaneous satisfaction. Yeah, no. I'm not quitting TikTok per se. Don't know anything about watch time hours. Yeah, big studios are for big channels, yeah. Yeah, stay organic. That's the way I like it. Like, I like to stay just, like, true to me. I just feel like the chat has been so much better today. Like, where we've actually talked about prepping. We talked about the movie Homestead. We stayed on subject. Um, yeah, like, I mean, it's not instant I can't find the thing. Instant gratification, obviously, on views, but we stayed on topic. We talked about Homestead. We talked about canning. We've talked about so many different things today. And I'm sure that I didn't hit like 1,000 people to view, but my average on my lives on YouTube or on TikTok is like 5,000 people per live. And I only capture their attention for like 5.5 seconds, unless you're like a regular, like one of my lifers. My lifers, I will talk to you guys all day, every day, no matter what. Um, there isn't a heart me. You have to do the thumbs up. Wherever the little thumbs up are. You'll never see. I'm actually okay with not seeing those numbers here. To be very honest, to be very fair, I am very comfortable in not seeing those type of numbers. Very, very, very comfortable in not seeing them. Yeah. I mean, I'm ADHD, but I don't like seeing the ADHD chat. Profiling. I would rather see it with the views, like, for the videos, like, those I'm not worried about. Homestead is making yeah, there's 2 episodes. I haven't started the Homestead series yet. I want to. Where it can slow down and get to know each other better. Yeah. My husband said he did not like YouTube chat because he felt like it was less personal. I feel like this is way more personal. Like my husband was like, I feel like you're not as connected. There's like a delay. But I feel like my lives on TikTok get so overran that the first couple times we did it, I felt like it was very impersonal. And now I feel like it's a lot more personal. But I could be wrong. All right, you guys, I'm going to end the live here. I'm going to go film. I got to go change my clothes and brush my hair a little bit better because it's definitely a mess. But I'm going to film. I'll be dropping a couple more videos tonight, tomorrow, the next day. I'll be in California. I leave tomorrow till Sunday. So I'm just filming a bunch. So I have a bunch of stuff to edit while I'm gone. But I will be back. All right, you guys. It was good talking. I'll see you guys later. Bye.